MLB.tv access. Get in on the action at stream.espn.com/MLBTV.
ESPN Unlimited auto renews at $29.99 per month after free trial unless canceled. Blackouts and other terms apply.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I actually drive better when I'm high. If anything, I'm more careful.
That's probably what the driver who killed a 4-year-old told himself. And now he's in prison. If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council. 15 years in prison for a crash that killed 3. 12 and a half years for killing a child. All caused by marijuana-impaired drivers. If you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
For Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Back here at Citi Field, we're getting set for the Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates, after which the Mets will hit the road. Their first road trip of the week will take them to St. Louis for 3 and San Francisco for 4. But first things first, and in some ways, Keith, a very highly anticipated game today because Nolan McLean gave the Mets so much to be excited about down the stretch last year. Today, he makes his first start of what is still technically his rookie season.
Yeah, he still does qualify as a rookie, and so we talk about expectations and what could be possible. It is possible that we look up at the end of the year and Nolan McLean wins the National League Rookie of the Year. That is possible. He's also maybe looking to get some Cy Young votes, but for Carlos Mendoza in the front office, they just want him to get the taste of opening day. I mean, last year at this time, he's starting games at Double-A Binghamton, not the New York Mets, but he was so good in 8 starts last year. Pitched to a 2.06 ERA, and proudly the next Met arm coming through the system, right? Everybody in their World Baseball Classic watching him wear Team USA on his uniform, watching him touch 98, 99. Big things from him expected this year. The Mets just want to get him through the first few weeks, starting to feel good, just getting in that big league rhythm and routine. Meanwhile, on the other side, Carmen Majinski, former first-round pick of the Pirates in 2020. He was actually a comp pick when the Pirates lost Starling Marte to free agency. The Pirates got an extra draft pick, and McGinsky was the guy that they chose. He's been a swing man for the first 3 years of his career. Last year, dipped his toe in the water a little more of starting, and that's what they want to do. Is the Pirates have traded away some other guys. McGinsky going to step up here and try to fill in with this rotation. That includes, of course, Paul Skeens and Mitch Keller, who started the first 2 games of this series. That is today's pitching matchup, brought to you by Ridgewood Savings Bank. When we come back, starting lineups and first pitch on a Sunday afternoon on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If you're still using one of those free period tracking apps, it's time to level up. Natural Cycles is the only birth control and fertility app that's FDA cleared. It doesn't just guess based on your last period.
It uses your actual body temperature to figure out your fertile days, so you can prevent or plan for pregnancy naturally. Plus, it's designed to keep your data secure. Join the millions who've made the switch. Save 15% with code RADIO15 at naturalcycles.com.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Trip. Looking for the best value on new tires? Get to Town Fair Tire. We honor every valid manufacturer's and competitor rebates and give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Before every broadcast, there's one thing I make sure to have by my side in the booth, and that's my mug of Bigelow tea. That smooth green tea keeps my voice ready for 9 innings or more. Bigelow tea, proud to be the official tea of the Mets Radio Network.
Back at Citi Field, beautiful day. Sun is shining down on that crisscross pattern in the green grass out there. The lineups are being exchanged at home plate, so we'll take a look at today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Westbury Toyota, #1 Superstore, Old Country Road in Westbury. Kai Correa, the bench coach, is the one handing the Met lineup across to Don Kelly of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are 0-2. And their starting lineup has O'Neill Cruz leading off, playing center field. Brandon Lau at second base, batting second. The veteran Pirate Brian Reynolds will bat third as the designated hitter this afternoon. Ryan O'Hearn, he's in right field today, batting cleanup. Shortstop Jared Triolo slots in fifth. Spencer Horwitz at first base, batting sixth. The third baseman and seven hitter is Nick Gonzalez. Catcher, former first-round pick and New Yorker Henry Davis bats eighth, and Jake Mangum in left field, the former Met draft pick. He'll bat ninth for Pittsburgh. Carmen McGinsky on the mound today for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Of course, his first start of the year, just the 18th in his major league career, but his 110th time towing the slab. Now for the New York Mets, who are 2-0. They've just taken the field. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, leads off. Juan Soto bats behind him. He'll play left field. Third baseman Bo Bichette, he'll bat third. The designated hitter, Jorge Polanco, is the Mets cleanup hitter, presented by ServPro. Cleanup, restoration, construction like it never even happened. Luis Robert Jr., the hero of yesterday's game, he'll be in center, batting fifth. The first baseman today with Polanco DHing, that's Brett Beatty, batting sixth. Marcus Semien at second, he'll bat seventh. The eight hitter is the rookie right fielder, Carson Bench. And catching is the nine-man Luis Torrens, and he'll be catching Nolan McLean. A lot of McLean jerseys, as you'd expect, coming into Citi Field in 2026 with what he was able to do last year. Just the belief in his arm and the difference between him and everybody else. Nolan McLean's spin rate on his curve, on his sweeper, does things that other guys in this league who have been in this league for a long time just simply cannot do. And for a lot of these fans in Flushing, of course, they're just happy he's wearing their colors. Speaking of which, the Pirates will wear their alternate road black top uniforms with the gray pants. Pittsburgh written in yellow across the chest, the black hat with the yellow goldish P on the front. And the Mets, according to Nolan McLean, are going to stay in those pinstripe uniforms on this beautiful Sunday. The white top, white pants, blue hat, the interlocking NY in orange on the front. Serta Pro Painters are experts at painting the corners. Call 1-800-GO-SERTA. And now to paint the word picture, here is the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. And if it's not necessarily a Hall of Fame day in terms of weather, or more to the point, the temperature, it is a whole lot better than it was yesterday on what was a terribly uncomfortable afternoon, one that wound up being a delightful one in retrospect as far as the Mets were concerned. They looked to go to 3-0, and Nolan McLean is ready to go. His first pitch to O'Neill Cruz is a fastball outside and high for ball one. Cruz did not start in yesterday's game with a left-hander David Peterson on the mound for the Mets. The 1-0 on the way, fouled straight back and out of play. And the count 1-1. O'Neill Cruz will be followed by Brandon Lau, and Brian Reynolds. The third baseman for the Mets, Bichette, way off the line. Here's the 1-1, and that sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, that was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball out of the hand of Nolan McLean. And he said he suddenly found himself looking at 98, even 99 this spring. the 2-1 fastball outside. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Cruz. But I asked Mets manager Carlos Mendoza before the game today, given that McLean did find a couple of extra ticks in the spring, if there were some concerns. The 3-1 lays off a high fastball, ball 4. So McLean, who generally had good control last year, walking 16 in 48 innings, which amounts to 3 per 9 innings, and that's just about the borderline acceptable number. Well, he's walked Cruz, and this is a guy who stole 38 bases last year to lead the league. O'Neill, Cruz, an instant base runner, and Brandon Lau coming up.
Luis Torrens back there today, not Francisco Alvarez. Torrens, one of the best at throwing guys out.
So McLean to the belt, and his first pitch to Lau. Missed outside, another fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Take a look at the Mets defense, brought to you by Orland & Cohen Orthopedic Group, ranked number 1 in New York by Castle Connolly. They've got specialists for that. 1-0, now the pitch. There's a breaking ball, a sweeper, and it's low, 2-0. So something we're not used to seeing. The strike zone elusive to Nolan McLean. He's made 7 pitches, 6 of them have been balls. So O'Neill being held on at first by Brett Beatty, starting his first big league game at that position. 2-0 pitch, breaking ball, low inside, ball 3. So McLean has been equally opportunity wild as he's missed with both his fastball and his sweeper. And he has fallen behind Lau 3-0. And given the early wildness, you'd doubt that Lau would be swinging here. 3-0 pitch, he takes it, and it's down the middle, a fastball and a called strike, 3 balls and 1 strike. Brian Reynolds, switch hitter, who's the designated hitter today, is on deck. So 3-1, outfield around towards right. And the pitch, fastball, that's over for a called strike. It's 3-2. Defensively, it's Beatty at first, Semien at second, Lindor at short, Bichette at third, Soto, Robert Benj, left to right in the outfield, and Luis Torrens back behind the plate. Well, now we'll see if Cruz will be running here on 3-2. You have to think there's a pretty good chance. Lindor shaded way over towards the bag at second. Cruz bluffs, doesn't go, and the pitch is taken low, ball 4. McLean misses with a sweeper, and Nolan McLean has walked his first 2 batters.
Well, this is the thing about the offseason, right? You got a guy who makes 8 amazing starts, pitches to a 2 flat ERA basically, but he's human, and he's going to get a visit from Justin Willard, the pitching coach, after just 2 batters into his 2026 season. Nolan McLean this year may not pitch to a 2.06 ERA. He's going to be amazing, but there will be times for basically still considered a rookie, some growing pains and some immediate growing pains 2 batters into the season.
And it's kind of interesting, too, when you think about the guys who pitched in the WBC. Paul Skeens, an example. He pitched on opening day, and Mets wore him out and chased him in the first inning before he could even get out of the inning. Here, McLean has walked the first 2 he's faced. And, yeah, I know it's your first start at home, and it's not a packed house necessarily, but they're going to have a pretty good crowd here today. And you just wonder about controlling the flow of adrenaline, which had to be amped up almost instantly in the WBC. And then you come back to spring training, and you're idling at a much lower speed, now picking it back up. Whether there's an adjustment to be made there or not, only the individual pitchers can say. But here is Brian Reynolds batting left-handed. First pitch, swung on and fouled off to the left and out of play. It's 0-1. Our umpires lineup, sponsored by RWJ Barnabas Health, official partner of Odyssey Mets Radio. That's us. Visit rwjbh.org. 0-1 to Reynolds. Outfield straight away, McLean deals. Breaking ball low, missed with a sweeper again. It's 1-1. Ramon De Jesus has the plate. Paul Clemens at first, crew chief Adrian Johnson at second, and Quinn Wolcott is the umpire at third. No score. McLean's walked the first 2. The 1-1 pitch to Reynolds. Little bit below the knees there, and I think we're going to get a challenge here.
The catcher is challenging the ball call.
Yep, Luis Torrens thought that had the strike zone around the knees. Let's look. It did. Ramon De Jesus is 0 for 1.
Well, We have seen the Mets hold their challenges or not even use them at all. But in this case, young pitcher, maybe struggling. Strikes are really important right now. That's an important challenge from Terrence. He also nailed it. I mean, he was very much in the strike zone. But it's really important to keep McLean moving downhill. Get some momentum here.
1-2 the count. McLean deals. Breaking ball swung on and missed strike three. Got him with a curve, and that could really turn out to be a big development, just getting that call overturned. So one away, runners still first and second, and the cleanup hitter Ryan O'Hearn coming up. First Met strikeout of the game brought to you by Weichert Realtors. Don't settle for a good agent. Go for a great one at Weichert.com. Just yesterday, for example, game against the Cincinnati Reds, involving the Cincinnati Reds. C.B. Buckner was the home plate ump. 6 times he had calls overturned behind the plate in a game against the Red Sox. And looking at a couple of them, here's the first pitch to O'Hearn, taken low, ball 1. I actually felt a little bit sorry for him and the other umpires because some of these that miss the strike zone are missing by an almost infinitesimal amount. I mean, you could barely measure how close it was. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, that's in for a called strike, 1-1. And I especially wondered about control pitchers, guys who are used to getting the benefit of the doubt from a home plate ump without the ABS system. Guys like Greg Maddux, Tommy Glavine. 1-1 coming. Breaking ball hit in the air, shallow left, charging in Soto, and he'll have to play it on a hop. It's a base hit around third. Cruz. He'll come home to score. Stopping at second is Lau, and on at first with a single and a run batted in is Ryan O'Hearn. And the Pirates have a 1-0 lead. Soto put his glove up to try to decoy Cruz into thinking that Juan might catch that ball. Didn't appear that he had a good chance to begin with. And so Cruz coming all the way around third, waved home rather aggressively by the Pirates' third base coach Tony Beasley. And it's 1-0 Pittsburgh, and Jared Triolo will be next.
Now, Soto's been playing pretty deep, and I wonder if it's because of the wind blowing out to left today as opposed to yesterday blowing in. But even against lefties, he's been playing deep, and he's back there again.
Here's Jared Triolo, right-hand batter. First pitch, fastball missed inside, ball 1. Well, anyway, with all that talk and concern about what that ABS system would do to the touch and feel guys, I actually reached out to Tom Glavine this morning. I wanted to ask him about it. The 1-0, fastball inside, ball 2. As you know, Tom was a guy who had great control, not a particularly hard thrower, but because he had such great control, would be one of those guys who would get the benefit of the doubt on the fringes from home plate umps. So I asked him if this ABS system would affect him at all. 2-0 coming. That's a called strike, a cutter, and it's 2-1. I asked him if he'd have altered anything at all, whether technically or philosophically. And he said, although he hasn't watched a ton of games yet, he has seen a couple of challenges. He doesn't think that his approach would change. 2-1 pitch, good sweeper in for a called strike. It's 2-2. He said he'd have to pitch on the edges anyway, but he thinks the big thing would be getting a strike 3 call overturned, because then you have the emotional battle with thinking you had an out and that you have to make that strike 3 pitch again.
It's a really interesting point. I'm also kind of not surprised that he, and I don't think Maddux would ever say, what?
Sorry, I'll show you the text. He was very respectful. Did not bring that up. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball popped in the air. Right. Bench charging over near the line. One-hand catch. Gets the ball in quickly. Rolling it all the way to third where Bo Bichette's waiting and the runners hold. So 2 men away, and Spencer Horwitz will be the batter.
I do wonder about guys like Tom Glavine that you see those old games and that those 2-seamers from Maddux that would be moving back and forth. There's no doubt that veteran guys would get calls that other guys wouldn't. Pitches that weren't even, or they were close enough. But the umpires now, as they zoom in on ABS, 0.1 inches. Oh, he got it wrong. 0.1 inches. Those are impossible margins for the human eye to tell.
And it seemed like Buckner had a couple of those yesterday. So, yeah, it's easy to point at the umpire because of the system and say you blew it. Here's Horwitz, left-hand batter, first ball swinging, lines it to left, right at Soto, makes the one-hand catch. Side retired. Pirates with a run on a hit, no errors, 2 men left, middle of the first inning. It's Pittsburgh 1 and the Mets coming up on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYempire.edu. That's SUNYempire.edu before the next term starts.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month.
Building our future. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. We head to the last of the first inning. Pirates with a runoff of Nolan McLean. Lead 1-0, and Francisco Lindor in to lead off. First pitch by Carmen Majinski is a fastball taken right at the top of the zone for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Francisco 0 for 7 to start the season. Majinski last year 5-8, made 12 starts. The 0-1 is just off the outside corner, a curve, 1-1. 12 starts, 34 games overall. Pitched reasonably well to a 3.55 earned run average. Generally has very good control. Keeps the ball in the yard. The 1-1 taken a little bit low, a split. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Lindor. He'll be followed by Juan Soto and Bo Bichette. Bright sunshine this afternoon. Remember the problems Cruz had with that in center field on opening day. 2-1 coming. Line foul back over the screen and out of play. And it's 2-2. I can't see from here, Keith, maybe you can, whether O'Neal Cruz has the sunglasses on. He did not on Thursday and lost 2 balls in the sun.
I don't see anything out there, but I'll look a little harder. He's 400 feet away.
Here's the 2-2. Upstairs with a fastball, 3-2. Well, I like your 2 eyes better than my 4 at this point.
It looks like sometimes you can tell just a little reflection or a little shimmer. I don't see anything. I think he's going all natural out there.
Ooh, commando. Here's the payoff pitch. Swinging a foul back upstairs behind home plate.
Sure, that's one way of looking at it.
If you're an outfielder playing on a very sunny day and you're not wearing sunglasses, I think the phrase just fits. Do with that what you may. 3-2 to Lindor. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a curve. So Majinski strikes out Lindor. 1 up, 1 down, and it'll bring up Juan Soto. Juan Soto comes to the plate with a 30-game on-base streak against the Pittsburgh Pirates, which goes back to August the 21st of 2019. Of course, he has not really been in the Pirates division, so I didn't see him that much. First pitch taken high, ball 1. But, 30 games is 30 games, no matter how far back it goes.
Henry Davis, catcher, is going to ask for a challenge on that pitch.
Got it.
And he got it overturned. From a ball to a strike.
Ramon DeJesus 0 for 2 from the field.
Well, this is interesting. You're talking about Glavine on the pitcher's side of ABS. I want to see the Soto side of ABS, a guy who's been known so much for having such a great eye, great command of the strike zone, and as we saw last year, would get a lot of calls.
The 0-1. Breaking ball. Well, that's low. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Baczynski missing with his curve. Baczynski was born in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which must mean he's a pretty good golfer. The 1-1 down and in, almost clipped Soto in the leg. But Soto backed away from it. And the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. It was a 83-mile-an-hour cutter. Meaning I don't think there was any intent there, and why would there be anyhow? 2-1 pitch. On the inside corner for a called strike. Soto, as Bob Murphy used to say, jackknifed out of the way of that one, but Soto did not appeal, and so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's not going to challenge, even though he's given Ramon a little bit of the business here. He was gritting his teeth. Didn't love that call. And the Mets, again, they don't want to use their challenge this early in the game.
2-2. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed strike 3. Got him with a split. And Baczynski has struck out the first 2. So 2 up, 2 down. And Bo Bichette will be the batter. That's as we mentioned. We'll go to St. Louis after the game. Clay Holmes will pitch tomorrow night against Kyle Leahy in a battle of right-handers. So here's Bichette now, right-hand hitter. Baczynski deals and missed the outside corner with a fastball at 94. It's 1-0. Bo Bichette just 1 for 9. That was a base hit in the 4th inning yesterday. Right-hand batter. And Baczynski holding the set. That's in for a called strike, a fastball. So a ball and a strike on Bichette with Jorge Polanco waiting on deck. That split has become pretty much the pitch for Carmen Baczynski. 1-1 pitch right down the middle, a sinker. And Bichette takes it for a called strike. It's 1-2. Center fielder Cruz is way over towards right center against Bichette, a right-hand batter. And Baczynski's 1-2. Upstairs with a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The left fielder, former Met farmhand Jake Mangum, pulled over a bit towards the gap. 2-2 pitch. Swing on a liner foul off the protective netting near the Mets dugout. Baczynski, one of those guys, and there are so many of them, who, if they don't necessarily sail through the first time through the order, don't fare nearly as well the second or third time through. The Pirates, here's the 2-2 coming, swung on and missed strike 3. Got him with a fastball up and in, and Baczynski strikes out the side in the first inning. Pirates have used a lot of relievers the first 2 games, so we'll see if Baczynski can push himself a bit today. Nothing across into the end of 1. Pirates 1, Mets nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000.
Of Odyssey Mets Radio. Second inning at Citi Field. Pirates lead the Mets 1-0. Nolan McLean threw 24 pitches in that first inning, facing Nick Gonzalez to lead off. And the first pitch is a sinker on the inside corner to the right-hand hitter. And the count 0-1. Nick Gonzalez yesterday batted further up in the order against the lefty David Peterson. The 0-1 swung on and missed. Late swing at a sinker. And it's 0-2. Gonzalez batting 7th today. He was in the 5th spot yesterday when he went 2 for 6, including an RBI single, which gave Pittsburgh a 10th inning lead. The 0-2, a late swing and a foul going to the backstop. That last pitch at 98 miles an hour, the hardest one McLean has thrown so far. Sponsored by Spectrum Fiber-Powered Internet, the most reliable internet you can count on. 0-2 pitch. Outside, a curve. And the count 1-2 strikes.
I remember at spring training just walking around, getting used to everybody saying hi and saying, how's McLean looking?
1-2 pitch. Fastball in there, strike 3 called. Over the outer half, no question about it. Gonzalez frozen, and McLean has his second strikeout. 1 up, 1 down. Henry Davis coming up.
Now everybody would raise their eyebrows and go, he's touching 98. I mean, this is really a big deal for Nolan McLean to take him maybe from a high 2 to an ace #1 starter. Velocity is usually that difference maker.
Well, here's Henry Davis, right-hand batter, chops one up the middle. Semien, the second baseman, to his right, from right in front of the second base bag, throws to first in time, 2 men away. You know, I asked Carlos Mendoza before the game if he had any concerns about McLean because his velocity was up, maybe chasing the velocity. And he said, no, not at all. It's something that, you know, it's come natural. It's not the result of us having done anything particular to try and increase his velocity. But there are guys you wonder about sometimes. Here's Jake Mangum. First pitch taken down and in 1-0. In fact, there have been times when I know the Mets, either in spring training or even up here at the major league level, they've wanted to turn off the radar reading on the board. The 1-0 fouled back to the screen, 1-1. I think Tyler McGill early in his career would look back at that scoreboard and see 97. Well, I think I can get the next one up to 98. And that's the thing they want to guard against. The 1-1. In tight. 2 balls and 1 strike, missing with a sinker. Mangum, a switch hitter, batting left. Former Met farmhand and a delightful kid. 2 out of 5. 2-1 pitch. Missed outside again with a fastball, 3-1.
He maybe isn't the prototypical Juan Soto looking build or Luis Robert Jr. build, but he's the farm system.
How could you not? Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Good changeup by McLean. Badly fooled Mangum. Side retired. 3 strikeouts for McLean. Pittsburgh goes in order. And in the middle of the second, it's the Pirates 1, the Mets nothing. On Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by your all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYempire.edu. That's SUNYempire.edu before the next term starts.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber.
Visit hillgroup.com.
Last of the second, Pirates 1, Mets nothing. Jorge Polanco leads off. First pitch from Majinski is taken outside, ball 1. Polanco the DH today, and you'll see a lot more of that as the season progresses. He will not be the everyday first baseman. He is learning the position. The 1-0 on the way. Line towards right. It's hooking foul off the protective netting. And the count 1-1 to Polanco with Luis Robert Jr. and Brett Beatty to follow. And it'll be kind of fun to watch Brett at first base today because you get the feeling that could be a more frequent landing spot. The 1-1, a check swing on a pitch that was down. No appeal. He held up. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Polanco. Well, that'll play itself out, of course. Now the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball pulled on the ground right of first. Picked by Harwitz. Underhands to Majinski, covering in time, and that's 1 man out.
Oh, you certainly need a plan B. I don't think the Mets really had a plan B outside of maybe Mark Vientos. They wanted Mark to kind of take that spot and run with it in spring training. He didn't really do that, which is why today's a Beatty day to fill in at first base. But Brett has just done what he has had to do to fight a little bit more for that position than maybe Mark has.
Well, here's Luis Robert Jr. First pitch to the right-hand batter. On the inside corner, a sinker for a called strike 1. He had the 3-run home run yesterday, which gave the Mets their 4-2 11-inning win. 0-1 on the way. Robert fouls it straight down at home plate. It's 0-2. And talking about how the defense is going to shift around occasionally, Robert, who had a lot of leg problems last year, is probably not going to play more than 3 days in a row early on. Remember, the Mets had an off day on Friday after Thursday's opener. So this is his 3rd straight game, but with a day off. The 0-2, curve in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And on days when Robert is not in the lineup, then chances are that Carson Benj would move to center and Brett Beatty would play right field. Brett's on deck. 1-2 to Robert. Swinging a liner to third, over or off the glove of Gonzalez into left field. He may have just gotten a piece of that. Mangum fires the ball back in, and Luis Robert Jr. is aboard with what's ruled a base hit. That was scorched, and I could not tell with the naked eye whether Gonzalez, as he reached up, got a little piece of it or not. It was hit that hard.
Yeah, I thought he did get a piece of it. Looking at the slow-mo replay, the ball was spiraling sideways, and it did clip the top of that Rawlings glove that came in front of. I think Gonzalez was trying to, first of all, protect himself, and he couldn't make the catch because it kept spinning on him.
So here is Beatty now, left-hand batter. And the first pitch, swinging a bouncing ball up the middle, base hit, going into right center field. Robert hits second. He's on his way to third. Cruz will not make a throw to third. Instead flips into the second baseman Lau, and on at first with a ground ball single is Brett Beatty. And the Mets, trailing 1-0, have runners at the corners, 1 out here in the second. Marcus Semien coming up. So Robert, who got it started, was in our 5th batter spotlight, brought to you by Key Food. Look for all of your favorite products at your local Key Food. Key Food and their family of supermarkets. Now after Beatty's following single, Semien has the chance to at least get the Mets even after Beatty delivered the Mets' first hit of the game, brought to you by Hudson Honda, where bad credit's no problem. Get approved fast and hit the road. Visit HudsonHonda.com today. Infield back at double play depth. First pitch. Swing and a foul straight back out of play. And the count 0-1 on Semien. Marcus Semien went 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch yesterday. So Semien 2 for 8 to begin his Mets career and this season. Righty against righty. The 0-1. Swinging a high fly ball hit pretty deep to center. Playable for Cruz. He has this one. Makes the one-hand catch. Tagging from third. Coming home to score is Robert. That ties the game 1-1 as Beatty holds at first. Semien gets it done, and the Mets are right back even.
Getting it done is apropos there of Marcus Semien. Just kind of a winning play. Just lift the ball, get it to the outfield. Don't try to do too much. Do what you need to do. Classic situational hitting by Marcus Semien.
The man for whom he was traded, Brandon Nimmo, has hit a 2-run homer today off of Jesus Luzardo. Texas leading Philadelphia 2-0 at Citizens Bank Park. Scoreboard sponsored by Nissan. So here's Benj, and the first pitch taken high, ball 1. Now's the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. 1-1 game. 1-0 to Benj. Now the pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carson went 0 for 3 in yesterday's game. Kind of interesting. He and Nolan McLean were teammates at Oklahoma State University, and they were both two-way players. They pitched and also played positions. Throw to first. Diving back in is Semien. So wouldn't you know it, McLean, the pitcher, out-homered Benj 36-25 at Oklahoma State. And Benj, the outfielder, he struck out 3 more batters than McLean, 79-76. The 1-1 hit on the ground to short, right at Triolo, but he bobbles the ball, recovers, and his throw to first is too late. And Carson Benj and the Mets get a gift as Beatty is safe at second, runners at first and second out. That should be an error on Jared Triolo.
Now, Don Kelly does have his hand up because the play at first base ended up being closer than it might have seemed, and Don Kelly has now put his hands to his ears to signal the headset. That is the, I guess, universal I want to challenge look. Jared Triolo is pretty good shortstop, won a Gold Glove 2 years ago as the utility man. And on replay at first base, it looks like Benj is out.
Challenging the safe call at first base.
The question is whether the back foot of Spencer Harwitz stayed on the bag as he reached for that throw, because the foot appeared to elevate a bit. And we'll get a better look at a replay as we have right now. Freeze it. Is he on the bag? I can't tell. What do you think?
I think Tommy Rockland back there in the truck and Eddie should be freezing it for us when we yell freeze it, even though we're on the radio.
That's right. We're the directors up here. We're the big shots.
Yeah, the ball definitely beat Benj. It's just a matter of, did Horwitz's yellow cleat come off the edge of the bag?
Jay Horwitz must have mixed emotions here.
That's right. That is his grandson, if you ask, with a lowercase g. But I don't know. It's tough to tell from the angle of looking at it from the second base view of where Triolo's throw came from, because you almost need that from the right field line angle looking at first to see with the cleat and the bag maybe grazing. And again, the thing to remember here is the call in the field is safe, so it has to be enough to overturn.
The call in the field stands. The runner is safe. Pittsburgh loses their challenge.
So stands, Howie, means they saw what he might have been out, but there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it as much.
Right. Had there been, they would have called it confirmed, and it may seem semantic, but it's not, because there is a distinction between the two. So we assume that'll simply be scored as an error on Triolo, and the Mets have runners at first and second now with 2 out, and there's 1-1 game in the last of the second. And now Luis Torrens, who had an RBI single yesterday, which got the game tied up, will bat here with 2 on. Now Majinski ready. And the first pitch is taken to the knees. A sinker for a called strike. And the count 0-1. Toronto leading the A's 1-0 as they play the bottom of the third in TO. George Springer led off the game with a home run. 61st time he's done that. The 0-1 taken on the outside corner by Torrens, a called strike, and it's 0-2. Ricky Henderson, in case you're wondering, greatest leadoff hitter of all time. How many times did Ricky lead off a game with a home run? Well, Ricky led off a game 81 times with a home run. And Ricky would be glad to tell you that Ricky led off the game 81 times with a home run. 0-2. Pitch to Torrens. In the dirt, low outside. Nice backhand stop by the catcher, Davis. And it's 1-2. Twins out in front of the Orioles, 4-0. Top of the third at Camden Yards. Tristan Gray had a 3-run double. Right here, Pirates 1, Mets 1. 2 out. Beatty at second, Benj at first. We're in the second. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper foul straight down at home plate.
Speaking of weird views, Dom Smith hitting a walk-off grand slam for the Braves. Yeah. It was kind of strange to see. Happy for Dom, but he's wearing a Braves uniform.
Well, and also a bittersweet home run for Dom, who it was revealed after he hit the home run, lost his mom a couple of weeks ago, died of cancer. 1-2 on the way. In there for a called strike 3. And Dom and his mom were particularly close. And having gotten to know Dom over the years, I'm heartbroken for him. And we all offer our sympathy to old friend Dom Smith. So Torrens out on strikes. The Mets tie the game with a run on 2 hits, an error, and 2 left. And at the end of 2 at Citi Field, it's the Pirates 1, the Mets 1 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand. Inches from the end zone.
932-7000. 1-1 Mets and Pirates. We start the third, Keith.
Thank you, Howie. First pitch from McLean to O'Neal Cruz is a sweeper, bending in for a called strike 1. Second time through the order for McLean. Pitch. Strike at the top of the zone. That's what you get when you're 6'7" like O'Neal Cruz is. And very quickly, it is 0-2. Cruz, Lau, Reynolds in this tie game. Infield back around to the right. Here's the 0-2. Just missed away. Tried the curve. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Pirates struck first. Cruz scored the run. Knocked in by Ryan O'Hearn. The 1-2. Breaking ball drops low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets just answered their bottom 2 with a Marcus Semien sac fly. And so we are even at 1. The 2-2. Bouncing ball hit toward the middle. Semien to his right. Has it on the backhand. Turns, fires low. Picked on a hop by Beatty for the out. Nice play on both ends. Semien up the middle, knowing I got to, first of all, get to this thing. Second of all, I got to throw out O'Neal Cruz, who's pretty quick. And a good job by Beatty on the one hopper to make the play at first base. By the way, that Mets first run of the game is sponsored by Slomin's. Call or visit Slomin's.com to schedule a free estimate on a new central AC system. Slomin's, the difference is human. So now Brandon Lau with an out. Pitch. Swing and a miss at 93. And count 0-1. As we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. Here's the 0-1. Lau takes outside. The sweeper just missed. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. Brandon Lau, newly a Pittsburgh Pirate, formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays. He grew up in Virginia. McLean's pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball at 97, and it's 1-2. But Lau's actually got some New York roots. His dad played at Cortland, played baseball at Cortland, and his sister is the field hockey coach at RPI. And I would read out the full name of RPI, but still, at 32 years old, I can't pronounce it. The 1-2. Breaking ball missed low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, isn't it? Is it
Rensselaer Polytech Institute, right?
I never felt comfortable trying that, so I'm going RPI.
Adam Oates, A&M.
Really?
That's where Adam Oates went, I believe, RPI.
2-2 on Brandon Lau.
What do you mean, who's Adam Oates?
No, I didn't say that.
No, I mean, I'm speaking to the collective you.
I had Clark Gillies yesterday. 2-2 is hit high in the air to right, pretty deep. Benj going back onto the track. He's at the wall, looks up, and it's gone. And for the 3rd time this series, Brandon Lau has hit a home run for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brought him in to do just that, and his solo shot just over Benj's head above the Mets bullpen makes it 2-1 Pittsburgh in the 3rd.
31 homers last year, 3 this weekend.
Lau has been everything and more for Pittsburgh. I was looking at this yesterday. Not that you forget about guys like Brandon Lau, but you don't think about second baseman with power. But Lau and Altuve and even Marcus Semien of the Mets now, all guys that have led baseball in home runs at that position for the last 3-4 years. Pitch to Brian Reynolds. The lefty swings and chops one toward the middle. Right there, Semien to his right, stabs it with a glove, throws to first in time to get Reynolds for the 2nd out. But Brandon Lau, we go back to the game on Thursday, took Freddie Peralta deep twice. And yesterday against the lefty with Peterson on the mound, he was lower in the lineup. Still came up with a hit, but that was later in the game against a righty. But power in Pittsburgh is going to be a thing this year. Pitch to O'Hearn. Speaking of power, he fouls it off his foot and goes hobbling away. And count 0-1. Pirates last year finished 71-91, last in the NL Central. Fewest runs, fewest home runs. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2015. Ben Cherington, who's running the show in Pittsburgh, maybe starting to feel the heat, starting to lean into the ownership for a little more money. They're spending about $20 million more this year than they did last year, and that's a lot because teams like Pittsburgh do not spend a whole lot. But a little bit of spending to get some power in, like O'Hearn, like Lau. They have a 2-1 lead. 0-1. Missed outside with a curve, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. O'Hearn homered on opening day and has singled in a run today. Tall lefty batter. Pitch. Missed inside with a sinker, and it's 2-1. Now's the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to peerlessboilers.com for more information and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers. Pitch, swing, and a miss. Good changeup there from Nolan McLean, and it's 2-2. The cutter and the changeup are 2 pitches that you might not remember McLean throwing last year. Good curve, good sweeper. 2-2. Missed inside with a changeup. That's 3 balls and 2 strikes. But once Justin Willard, the pitching coach, got the job, made his calls to everybody, and that was kind of the idea with McLean. Okay, you've got 2 really nasty pitches. Let's add some more. Justin Willard's calling card has been nasty stuff in the zone. I think they actually made T-shirts for it. Payoff. Hit up the middle, a base hit going into center field for O'Hearn. Robert cuts it off toward the right center field gap and fires in. But a 2-out knock by O'Hearn, his 2nd hit of the afternoon. He started out his Pirates tenure now 5 for 11. And that moves the line along now to the 5-hitter, Jared Triolo. So McLean in his first start of 2026, getting hit around a little bit more than he did last year. Again, just 48 innings all said and done, and he was almost perfect. I mean, some of the outings that he had against Seattle, against Philly, almost perfect. Pitch to Triolo. Righty takes a little bit high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. That's why in the WBC it was interesting to see how McLean would handle getting hit. And he got hit by Italy, a couple of home runs, and then gave up a couple of softer runs against Venezuela. He pitched great in the final. U.S. just didn't score. 1-0 pitch hit him. A sweeper that didn't bend back in against the righty, and McLean slaps his palm into his glove in frustration. He has now hit Jared Triolo. Now he's on his way to first. That pushes O'Hearn up to second. And more traffic against McLean in this third inning.
Well, because he's had so much, and he's going to get a visit now from Mets pitching coach Justin Willard. He's already thrown 56 pitches. And remember, it's the first start. Obviously, he stretched out a little bit in the WBC, but Mets are going to be careful with him and all the others, as just about every team in Major League Baseball will at this very early juncture of the season. So we'll see how much they give McLean in terms of pitches and rope today.
Other thing, too, that we're waiting to see is when the Mets will deploy Sean Manaea as the piggybacker now, the reliever. Carlos Mendoza was saying he doesn't want to call him a reliever just yet because he is still a starter, but of the 6 healthy guys for 5 spots, Manaea was the odd man out. If McLean has a short leash today, we may see Manaea on a day like today. So again, this is how he said 56 pitches for McLean already, 2 outs in the third, 2-1 Pirates, but 2 on with 2 out for Spencer Horwitz. Lefty with some pop. Infield back around to the right. Pitch. Strike over the inside corner, 96-mile-an-hour sinker, and it's 0-1. Horwitz came up with Toronto, and on the same day, a couple winters ago, was traded from Toronto to Cleveland, and then later that day, Cleveland to Pittsburgh. McLean head on a swivel, deals the 0-1. That hits the knees for a called strike, too. Hard sinker at 96. So McLean just trying to get out of what has been some murky waters in the first few innings of this game. Time called at home by Horwitz. Horwitz lined out his first time, so he's 0 for 5 to start 2026. Robert a step the other way in center. 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Got him with a curve to end the inning. But the Pirates, behind a third Brandon Lau home run of the series, are back in front. 2-1 Pittsburgh, middle of 3 from Citi Field on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Bottom 3, Mets chasing a run. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh. Francisco Lindor digs in. The first pitch is a little bit low from Carmen Mlodzinski for ball 1. Lindor, Soto, and Bichette against Mlodzinski, the starter for the Pirates, the right-hander. Into the windup is 1-0 pitch. Dots the outside corner with 93, and it's 1-1 on Lindor, who's still in search of that first hit. He is 0 for 8. Mlodzinski struck out the side in the first inning, getting Lindor, Soto, and Bichette Here's a 1-1. Strike at the top of the zone. A close pitch, but again, we're not really seeing these Mets hitters challenge some of these pitches that, to the naked eye here, look like, well, maybe he'd be interested in finding out whether or not that was close or far away from the zone. Lindor does take his time, but doesn't even move his feet. Stays in that batter's box with those bright orange neon cleats. Majinski has his sign, leans back and fires. Missed away with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. After he struck out the side, Mets got to him a little bit. Back-to-back base hits in that second inning. Robert and Beatty. And then Simeon with a sac fly brought in Robert to, at the time, tie the game. 2-2. Breaking ball is low. Curve. And a count full on Lindor. Now, while Francisco has not had a hit yet, he has walked 3 times. And that came into play in the opener on Thursday. The windup and the payoff. Swing and a miss. 94. Top of the zone. Put him away. Now let's pause 10 seconds. Station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Alongside Howie Rose, my name is Keith Rad. Bottom 3, 2-1 Pittsburgh. Juan Soto digging in that back foot. And first pitch to the lefty. Swings and pops it foul, third base side, soaring out of play. Making our way closer and closer to the heart of the lineup, brought to you by Amvutra. Ask your doctor about Amvutra and visit amvutra.com to learn more today. Soto struck out on a splitter his first time, 0-1. Check swing on a pitch down, look to third, no swing, says Quinn Wolcott. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. Soto is wearing the sunglasses. He's playing left field this year. And even though I wasn't convinced when I heard David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza say, well, we're going to put Soto in left this year, it has nothing to do with analytics, I thought, well, it's got to have something to do with analytics. And the answer is still no. They just found out he was more comfortable over there. Here's a 1-1. I'm going to tap her foul up the first base line, and it's 1-2. Carlos did tell me, though, it wasn't so much as, he'll go to his data guys and say, hey, run me some numbers on this, and this so I can make my decision. Soto takes his time. He did say that, right field at Citi Field is difficult. It's vast. So pitcher's park, it's a lot of room out there. And right center where Soto was last year, a lot of ground to cover. So left field maybe a little bit lighter. The 1-2, breaking ball, fouled off his foot, pops into the sky. But it is a foul ball, and it stays 1-2. And a lot of that discussion, too, with moving Soto over started with the fact that he was going to be playing left field in the World Baseball Classic. That is one. But the second point is that, again, the Mets thought they were at the 1-yard line with Kyle Tucker, who would have been playing right field. But now he's a Dodger. 1-2. Breaking ball misses low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Soto had a lot of years in Washington in left field. Of course, with San Diego, it ended up playing some left field, and that's where he will be this year. Base is clear, 1 out, 2-1 Pirates. The 2-2. Swing and a miss again off the splitter, and down goes Soto. So McGinsky has struck out 6 Mets today. 5 of the 6 have been right up here. Lindor twice, Soto twice, and Bichette, who's coming up now, once. The other strikeout was Luis Torrens. Now that splitter has been tantalizing by Carmen Mlodzinski. And now Bichette right on right. Infield playing him straight up. First pitch. Breaking ball bends to the outside corner for called strike.
David Bednar, the former Pirate reliever who's now with the Yankees, and Kirby Yates, when he was with the Pirates, had a lot to do with helping Mlodzinski pick up that split and refine it to where it is now.
0-1. Laced foul to the right. And the count 0-2. Just from doing Met games for the last 4 years, maybe it's not just the Mets, it's just that pitch. Seems to be an Achilles heel for a lot of teams. Splitter is just that one pitch that you just can't pick up when it's right. 0-2. Fought off foul to the right and out of play. Of course, the Mets have Kodai Senga's forkball, which is not a split. It's a little more radical than an actual splitter. It's slower. You dig your fingers a little further around the baseball, but it's the same idea, that fade, soft drop with the great arm action. 0-2 to Bichette. Missed low with a slider. That's 1-2. Scoreboard update brought to you by the New York Lottery. Gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. White Sox up 4-0 on Milwaukee. Bottom of the first, Brandon Sproat has given up all the runs for the Brewers. We know him. The 1-2. Swing and a miss at 95 away. Bichette chased off the outside corner. And for the second time today, Carmen Majinski has struck out Lindor, Soto, and Bichette. And we go to the fourth inning at Citi Field. 2-1 Pittsburgh on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just...
Because where you're treated first matters.
Off we go to the top of the fourth inning. Pittsburgh up 2-1 on the New York Mets. Nick Gonzalez, Henry Davis, Jake Mangum to see Nolan McLean. McLean's first pitch to Gonzalez. Swing a foul at home plate. That count 0-1. And, of course, top of the fourth inning, every home game. Newsday joining us in the booth, and today we have Dave Lennon. Good to see you, Dave.
Special guest star. Thank you, guys. Nice to see you guys this afternoon.
What a deep bench.
That's a good way to put it, Howie. Thank you.
Well, I told Howie, hey, we've got Lennon in today, and, of course, Howie's Beatles love takes over. Here's the 0-1, way inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Simply said, as I once introduced Dave in a prior incarnation of this feature, I said, he's my second favorite Lennon of all time. No insult, losing out to John, but, hey, you beat Vladimir.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Gonzalez cuts and misses at the cutter, and it's 1-2.
It's a poor substitute for McCartney, who I know you're holding out on meeting, Howie, but, still a Lennon.
Well, it's good to have you here, Dave, as McLean is facing Nick Gonzalez, who he struck out back in the second inning. McLean with 4 strikeouts today. 1-2. Little number to the right of the mound, picked up by McLean. He sets and fires to first in time for the out. So, Nolan McLean, we were just talking about this before, Dave, with Howie and myself about Skeen struggling on an opening day. Here's McLean, who maybe is not walking into Lone Depot Park and the adrenaline rush. And you've kind of been noticing maybe a little bit of a hangover for some of these WBC guys.
Yeah, we've seen that. People are starting to wonder if you can make a connection between Skeens. We saw here the other day, guys. Obviously, Logan Webb out in San Francisco getting knocked around by the Yankees. Matthew Boyd in the opener there.
Here's Henry Davis batting right-handed. 2-1 Pirates, top of the fourth inning. First pitch right on right. Davis hits a high fly ball to center. Robert shoots his hand up to guard against the sun and takes one step back. Makes the catch off his left side. And there's 2 down.
Yeah, and today from what we've seen out of McLean, guys, is that, he's kind of feeling his way through a little bit and just hasn't really been the dominant strike thrower we've kind of seen from him in the past. And you have to wonder. I'm a fan of the WBC. I think the tournament was incredibly successful this year. I was down there to do the semis and the finals and saw the excitement around it.
Here's Jake Mangum batting left, 2 outs. First pitch, he swings and fouls it away left side, strike 1.
So, I think it'd be disappointing if we started to see the data and started to draw these lines and showing these star pitchers being taxed in that way and being, hampered to start the year.
0-1. Breaking ball bends over the outside corner, and it's 0-2. And, well, McLean is starting to fill up the strike zone now here in this fourth inning after a bit of a slow start. He's given up an RBI single and a solo home run. He's got Mangum 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes on the changeup. Well, all he needed was a little Lennon in his life.
I was going to say, forget what we just said about WC holding back. Maybe just needed to warm up a little bit. You know, it's a little chilly this afternoon.
Well, Dave, we'll see you when it gets a little bit warmer. Thanks so much for joining us. Dave Lennon of Newsday. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-1 Pirates on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Introducing the all-new MLB Plus, your ticket to streaming baseball's best. Enjoy MLB Network 24/7 with live out-of-market games and award-winning shows. Enhanced game nights with MLB Big Inning, live and commercial-free. And hear live home and away radio broadcasts of every game, blackout-free. Even stream minor league games all season. It's all here and it's all new. Get MLB Plus for just $59.99 a year. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Feel the power.
Jorge Polanco leads off the bottom of the fourth for the Mets, and the first pitch his way from Carmen Mlodzinski is outside for ball one. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Pittsburgh in the finale of this series. Mlodzinski's been terrific today for the Pirates. Here's the 1-0 to Polanco. Swinging a foul back behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned at the top of the show that Mlodzinski is only making his 18th major league start, but the 110th appearance. He's been mostly a reliever turned swingman, now turned starter. And so 7 strikeouts, a career high. The 1-1 clips the outside corner for a strike. Polanco's not going to challenge that one. It was, again, borderline on the outside edge, but it's 1-2. Polanco batting left here. Robert and Beatty to follow. Trying to get something started. The 1-2. Missed low with that splitter. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jorge Polanco just 1 for 6 to start his Mets tenure, but 5 walks. And amazing how often he's just been put on by these Pittsburgh pitchers. He walked a ton on Thursday. 2-2. Missed away again, this time with a heater, and it's full. Well, one of the reasons the Mets were really interested in Polanco was because from 2024 to 2025, he had one of the most ridiculous cuts in strikeout rate ever. 3-2. Hit hard on the ground to second. Loud to his left. Scoops it up and flips it onto first in time. 1 away. Polanco in 2024, let's just say for the sake of easy numbers, struck out 30% of the time. And then in 2025, 15% of the time. That's pretty good improvement, right? Turns out it's the greatest drop in strikeout rate from year to year in the history of the game. And so the Mets, their antennas were up and said, we want to know more, and they ended up signing to a 2-year deal. Here's Robert, first pitch his way, in for a strike with a sinker, and it's 0-1. But in just the 100-plus years we've been playing this game, Jorge Polanco can hang his hat on that little nugget. 0-1 to Robert. Little blooper down the right field line, falling fast. That's down for a base hit the other way. Robert takes the turn, but O'Hearn gets to it and heaves it in. Well, Robert is on again. So his second hit of the day and his 5th in 10 at-bats for the Mets. He's on as now the tying man with one out in the bottom of the fourth, and Brett Beatty coming up.
You know, what's particularly impressive about Robert now is that he's had 12 at-bats, or 12 plate appearances. He's only struck out once. And this is a guy who strikes out an awful lot, but he had that great 10-pitch at-bat and continues to make good contact.
Maginski to Beatty. First pitch is low with a split. That's 1 ball, no strikes.
And the line drive off the glove of Gonzalez, his first time up, hit much harder than this last ball, but he's finding his way on and won a game yesterday. He's been fine defensively.
Slip the oven mitts on now to try to steal a bag maybe. Takes his lead at first. Maginski's 1-0. Beatty shows bunt, pulls back, and the pitch misses way outside with ball 2. Now Robert again can do that. Have not seen him try to steal a base yet. We did see him go first to third in the second inning after Brett hit a single up the middle. Now Beatty here with Robert on again. Mets down 2-1. 2-0. Beatty lays off the high fastball. A look to third. And no swing, says Quinn Walcott. Beatty just kind of turned his shoulders, left the bat back, and it's 3-0. Maginski had 65 pitches. A lot of pitches because he's been striking out a lot of hitters. 7 of them already. 3-0 coming. Beatty takes all the way. It's a fastball strike, and it's 3-1. Oh, Robert last year with Chicago, you look at the numbers, you go, okay, hit 223, hit 14 home runs. It was an okay year. Well, he stole 33 bags. 3-1. Breaking ball swoops in for a strike, a sweeper, and it's 3-2. Robert right now being chatted with by Gilbert Gomez, the first base coach, who came walking over and said something in Robert's ear. 1 on, 1 out, 3-2 on Beatty. A spin and a throw to first, and Robert dives back in safely. Fourth inning brought to you by Cars for Kids. 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Third baseman Gonzalez off the line. The 3-2 runner goes. Pitches hit hard toward the right side. Base hit past Lau, going up the alley in right center field. Robert is on his way to third. He'll stop right there as the throw from Cruz comes firing in. Brett Beatty again with a hit with Robert on. Sets up first and third for the second consecutive time. And they're at the corners for the Mets with 1 out. Beatty kind of put the first one in the same spot on the ground, just to the right of Brandon Lau going up the middle. This one was scorched on one hop past Lau. So as the Mets are threatening to try to tie the game, they trail 2-1. Henry Davis, the catcher, is going out. Jared Triolo, shortstop. Nick Gonzalez coming over to give Maginski a pat on the rear. And Marcus Semien was the guy who's on deck. Brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Well, here comes Semien with a chance to drive in another run. Now, this little trio of Robert, Beatty, and Semien did hook up for a run when Robert was brought in on a sac fly by Semien. And so same setup here. Robert, a lead in foul ground at third. Beatty off first. Infield looking for 2. Pitch right down the middle. 93-mile-an-hour sinker, and it's 0-1. Very taxed Pittsburgh bullpen. I mean, both teams really, after yesterday, 11 innings on the second day of the season. Can make things tough. Nobody up in that pen. 0-1. Missed up high, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Maginski has just now crossed into the 70-pitch mark. Pitching effectively, but it's a tight game. 2-1. And he's going to hang in there for a while here. They're at the corners with 1 out. Maginski set. The 1-1. Semien, it's a foul ball off of his foot, rolling out toward third. Robert took off. So he's coming in now to score on what is a foul ball. So some fans oohing and eyeing. And it's now 1-2 on Semien. Even Robert, as he got up and curled around past Semien to go back to third, is such a towering figure. He's chiseled. Big guy, that Luis Robert. Outfield. Touch the other way toward right. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 95 up and in. And Semien strikes out. 8 strikeouts now for Maginski. And it's up to Carson Benz, the rookie, try to at least tie the game. Benz has played in all 3 here. Of course, homered in the opener on Thursday against Justin Lawrence. Runners at the corners. 2 outs in the fourth. 2-1 Pirates. Pitch. Swing and foul back. Bench right on that fastball. And the count 0-1. Carson reached on an E6 in the second inning. A ball that was bobbled by Jared Triolo, the shortstop, who was shaded up the middle. Triolo, by the way, and Brett Beatty, who leads at first, both high school teammates down in Austin. Majinski's 0-1. Missed away with a fastball. It's 1-1 strike on Benj. There was a moment yesterday in the tight game where Benj had an at-bat late. Remember, it was the 7th inning against a lefty, Gregory Soto. And there was a decision made by Carlos Mendoza, who was asked about it again today. Could you have pinch hit for somebody there? And he said, yeah, but we decided to save the Vientos move for later in the game. They want to see what this kid can do. The 1-1. Up and away. Fastball missed. And that's 2 balls and a strike. It's maybe just a little bit different for Carson Benj than for another good minor leaguer that made the team. This is David Stearns' regime's first round pick. Their best guy that they could find. 2-1. Lifted in the air to right. Mangum freezes, now moves back, stops, straightens, and makes the catch to end the inning. Mets leave a pair at first and third, and it's still Pittsburgh ahead 2-1. We're through 4 in the finale of the series at Citi Field on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Let's go Mets! Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs, or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like
world's best built boilers.
Top of the 5th inning on a Sunday at Citi Field. 2-1 Pittsburgh Pirates. And for Nolan McLean, third time through the lineup with Cruz, Lau, and Reynolds. And it seems like, Howie, it's been maybe the bottom of the order. McLean's done a little bit better, or it's just getting further and further into the game. McLean maybe starting to settle in here.
Well, he's 67 pitches in, and thank you, Keith. So beginning his third time through, facing O'Neill Cruz, and the first pitch swung on and missed a good changeup. And it's 0-1. So we'll keep an eye on the Mets bullpen to see when and if anybody starts getting loose. Again, it's only the 5th inning, but the pitch count vital this early. And the 0-1 missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to O'Neill Cruz, with Brandon Lau and Brian Reynolds to follow in this 5th inning. 1-1 pitch. That spins over the outside corner, a called strike. And it's 1-2.
I think Cruz is going to challenge this. Ramon de Jesus has been challenged all day.
Well, Cruz lost that one. That's a strike.
1 challenge remaining for the Pirates.
So Pittsburgh loses a challenge there. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on a guy who punched out 174 times last year. And now I guess it's Cruz who called timeout. Quickly, Ramon de Jesus threw his hands up. Cruz, a guy who can ill afford to give up a strike. And the 1-2 coming, and that's why he swings and misses at a curve, strike 3. And that swing and miss at a curve, whereas certainly O'Neill Cruz has a propensity for swings and misses, is just illustration of what McLean does best. He gets swings and misses with his curveball at a rate that is really just about unmatched right now in the major leagues. It's a small sample, of course, relative to those who have been around a lot longer, but he gets a tons of swing and misses with that pitch. Here's Lau, and the first pitch, and missed the outside corner. A changeup, and it's 1-0. Lau was walked and homered. And so 6 strikeouts now for McLean. The 1-0, that's waved at and missed, and that evens the count 1-1. Fifth inning is sponsored by Elec 825, building our future. 1-1 pitch. Swing on a little looper behind third. Going back, Bichette won't reach it. It's in for a hit. Rolls over by the tarp. Now on his way to second. Bichette up with it. His throw, the slide, safe at second base. The throw is a little bit to the shortstop side. So as Simeon went over to play it, he then had to reach across in an effort to get the tag down on Lau. And the call made by second base umpire Adrian Johnson is safe. It's a bloop double for Brandon Lau.
All right, that was just an amazing slide by Lau. I mean, the ball almost beat him. As you said, Simeon has to come get the ball, then turn back, and Lau just swims and slides right around him. His whole body ended up on the outfield side of second base, and he held on with those fingernails for dear life.
So, Pirates with a runner in scoring position, and they did have one big hit in that spot today. That was Ryan O'Hearn's RBI single in the first. Right now it's Brian Reynolds with O'Hearn up next. And the first pitch taken outside, ball 1. Pirates over the first 2 games of this series went 3 for 25 with men in scoring position. In the 11 innings yesterday, Pittsburgh left 17 men aboard. So Lau being watched by Lindor at shortstop in the 1-0. Missed the outside corner, 2 balls and nothing. Lindor trying to stay and force Lau to remain as close to the bag as possible. In fact, Lindor is right in behind him now. Lau measures his lead. The 2-0 is up and in. 3-0 to Brian Reynolds. McLean missing with a sinker there. Mets bullpen quiet at the moment, although that looks like it's about to change. Looks like somebody's getting up there. 3-0. Pitch to Reynolds. Called strike at the knees on the outer half. A sinker. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. And it is Huascar Brazoban, who's starting to loosen up for New York. McLean about to throw his 79th pitch. 1 out, top 5, 2-1 Pittsburgh. 3-1 pitch. In for a called strike, a cutter. And it's full now, 3-2. McLean walked the first 2 batters he faced. He hasn't walked anybody since. Hit a batter, struck out 6. 3-2. Now the payoff pitch to Reynolds. Breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. He didn't get a swing and miss with his curve. He got a called strike as that ball clipped the outer edge. 7 strikeouts from McLean. 2 men away. Ryan O'Hearn coming up.
And because O'Neill Cruz had used his challenge, Reynolds not going to use the second one here. That pitch might have been outside for ball 4. So that's a pivotal moment right there where it could have been first and second with 1 out, but instead a huge strikeout.
Here's O'Hearn, and the pitch to him taken inside, ball 1. You know, it brings up an interesting point when you mention Cruz. Now, he's very much a free swinger. We know that. And a lot of times that has to do with having pitch recognition difficulties. The 1-0. Now the pitch, taken for a called strike, 1-1, a fastball. I wonder, this is worth asking Carlos Mendoza and maybe other managers about. If you have a hitter who strikes out a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't know a ball from a strike within the zone, whether he swings or not. The 1-1 foul, little roller back to the backstop, 1-2. So I wonder if a manager might be inclined to perhaps have a shorter leash with certain hitters, allowing them even to issue a challenge. You can't do it from the dugout, so it's really up to the hitter. 1-2 to O'Hearn. Now the pitch, Swung on and missed strike three. There's that curveball producing a whiff. And it retires the side. 8 strikeouts for McLean. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Middle of the 5th inning. Pittsburgh 2, the Mets 1 on Odyssey Mets Radio. Powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Visit hillgroup.com.
We go to the last of the 5th inning. Pirates lead the Mets 2-1. Luis Torrens leads off. Carmen Majinski's first pitch is a breaking ball outside for ball 1. Torrens struck out looking his first time. So after Luis, it'll be Lindor and Soto when Majinski begins his 3rd time through the order. The 1-0 swung on and fouled to the left of home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. So many pitchers nowadays begin to lose it, certainly the 2nd time through, and managers very often are loath to give them too many opportunities a 3rd time through. The numbers don't lie with Majinski. The 1-1 breaking ball pulled on the ground to short, right at Triolo. He's got it, and fires to first in time, 1 man away. Last year, Majinski, this is after the hitters averaged just .222 against him the first time through the order. Well, when he faced them for the 2nd or 3rd time through, they hit .364. A much, much different result.
I think Don Kelly's thinking along those same lines because he's got that bullpen up, Howie.
Well, here is Lindor, and the first pitch to Francisco, hit in the air towards the gap in right center. That's pretty deep, headed towards the warning track, and it hits the top of the wall, bounces down onto the warning track. Lindor hits 2nd. He's on his way to 3rd. The relay throw, the head first slide. He is safe at 3rd. A 3-base hit for Francisco Lindor, his first hit of the year, and a close play at 3rd. We'll see if the Pirates decide to challenge that. The Mets have a runner at 3rd now with 1 man out, pending any potential challenge.
That was amazing. The triple is a decision made by the runner right there, and Lindor around 2nd just goes, the heck with it, I'm going for it. And Tim Leeper is watching this as the 3rd base coach and just points to the outfield side of the 3rd base bag. Slide this way, Francisco, and then it's just this. Everybody in the ballpark's in suspense because it's perfect. The slide, the tag, the throw all at the same time, and Lindor just got there.
So now the Pirates move their infield in. Juan Soto, the batter. 2-1 Pittsburgh, Mets threatening. Majinski sets his first pitch. Way outside, ball 1. So as Keith mentioned, the Pirates have Johan Ramirez, a right-hander, up in their bullpen. As now Majinski is working the 3rd time through the order, and the first batter he faced in that situation got him for a triple. The 1-0 on the outside corner, a sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike to Soto, who has struck out twice this afternoon. Majinski has struck out 8. He has not walked a batter. All 4 infielders are up. Lindor short lead at third. 1-1 pitch. Up and in, bending Soto backwards. Ball 2. Because the third baseman, Gonzalez, is not only in, but fairly close to the bag, even with a left-hand hitter Soto up there, Lindor can't get too big a lead down the line. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss and a curve. Boy, that started as though it was going to be around the middle of the plate and then made a sudden turn down and in. That was a lot of late break. That was a good-looking pitch there from Majinski. 2-2 to Soto. Majinski to the belt, deals. Breaking ball hit in the air to right field. Towards the line comes O'Hearn. He won't get it. It's in for a hit, which ties the game. Lindor scores from third. O'Hearn hustles it back in. One Soto aboard with a single and a run batted in. It's the Pirates 2 and the Mets 2 here in the 5th inning.
Oh, he just swung over that curveball, and so Majinski may be feeling good through it again, and this is that one that leaked right back over the middle of the plate, and it's enough for Soto. Again, he just learns and reacts and adapts so quickly. You can't throw him the same pitch, and the second time definitely can't be a mistake.
And so that is going to be it for Majinski, facing 2 batters third time through, triple and a single, game tied 2-2. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Red Pocket Mobile. Visit redpocket.com to see why more Americans are switching to better wireless while also paying less.
New York baseball fans, ready to knock your future out of the park? Discover Malloy University, just 35 minutes from Manhattan. Get personal mentoring, academic excellence, and a vibrant campus life. Choose from over 80 undergraduate and graduate programs, join 45-plus student clubs, and cheer on 18 NCAA Division II teams. Your future starts at Malloy University. Visit malloy.edu today. That's MOLLOY.edu.
Summers in New Jersey were made to wow you. From sun and wows to fun and wows, chillin' wows to thrillin' wows. So come see what your wow's gonna be. New Jersey, it's one summer wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, Johan Ramirez, who pitched pretty well for the Pirates on Thursday, on opening day, pitched 2 1/3. He's the guy who came on in the first inning to relieve Paul Skeens. Well, anyway, Ramirez will come on now in relief of, I get to say this for the final time today, Carmen Majinski. I can't tell you how many times I've had to look at a special area on my scorecard where I phonetically spelled out, well, the one that's properly spelled Mlodzzinsky. Well, he's in the shower now, so Majinski, he's getting wet. Meanwhile, the Mets have tied the game, and here's Bo Bichette against Ramirez with Soto at first and 1 out. Throw to first, and Soto is back standing. So the Mets have tied the game. Didn't even trim the lead. But Azek doesn't care. They want us to remind you that Azek, exteriors, wood, rots. Azek trim does not. Here's Bichette, first pitch on the outside corner, a sinker, and it's 0-1.
Good shot, strike ball.
Bichette is, we're having another challenge, are we? That's a strike.
Call is confirmed. One challenge remaining for the Mets.
So now the Mets have one challenge remaining, and Ramon DeJesus seems to get better and better and better as this game has gone on after some early overturns.
Live and learn. 0-1 to Bichette. Now the pitch, take it outside 1-1. Well, Madge just came up with a great line. He said, you got to get to Ramon DeJesus early. And that reminds me of another great Madge line about our buddy Jerry Blevins. former Mets left-hander, now seen on SNY. 1-1 to Bichette. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Big cut of the sweeper. It's 1-2. The Mets used Jerry Blevins as an opener one game. And I forget, he might have given up some runs. I really don't remember how it worked out. But Madge said, well, if you're going to get Blevins, you got to get him early. He was an opener. It was a prescribed one-inning appearance. 1-2 to Bichette, rolled off the fists up the first base line. Ramirez off the mound to grab it, goes to the bag himself and touches up for the out, and moving down to second is Soto. So, 2 men away. Mets now with a go-ahead man in scoring position for Jorge Polanco. Today's Mets radio broadcast is sponsored in part by Spectrum Fiber-Powered Internet, the most reliable internet you can count on. So, 2 away. And now Polanco, who's grounded out twice. Switch hitter batting left. And the first pitch. Breaking ball missed down and in. A curve from Ramirez. So 1-0 on Polanco with Luis Robert Jr., who's becoming one of the big stories of this first weekend of the year, on deck for the Mets. 2 more hits today. Game-winning homer yesterday. 1-0 to Polanco. That's on the outer half, a curve, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Just a gorgeous day. I know it's cool by baseball standards, but at 51 degrees, that's about 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. The wind not as aggressive as it was. The 1-1, breaking ball in for a called strike, 1-2, and nary a cloud to be found.
Fewer blankets, fewer of those beanies, toques, whatever you want to call them today. Maybe for those that are in the shade, but yes, much different than yesterday.
Toques. That's Canadian, you know.
Oh, you taught me that one.
There you go. 1-2 coming. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. Right to the back foot. And Polanco swings through it. That retires the side. Mets tie the game. Run on 2 hits. They leave 1 into the end of 5. Pittsburgh 2, the Mets 2. On Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Hey America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off.
Lawyer.com.
The first 18,000 fans at the Mets Athletics game on the next homestand, April 11th, will get a Juan Soto bobblehead celebrating his 40-30 season, courtesy of Citi. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets. Just the Athletics. And the new building in Las Vegas is now under construction. A lot of thought over the years whether that would ever happen, but it's going to happen. Huascar Brazoban, new pitcher for the Mets as we begin the 6th with a score tied 2-2. And the first batter, Jared Triolo, fouls the first pitch back to the screen. So it's 0-1. Nolan McLean in his first start of the year, done after 5 through 84 pitches. 0-1 the count to Triolo. Brazaban deals. And a little roller to short. Waiting on it is Lindor. He's got it. Hustles it over to first. In time to Beatty. One man out. McLean 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. Brazaban got into yesterday's game, retired the only 2 batters that he faced, Joey Bart and Jake Mangum. Brazaban coming off a very strong World Baseball Classic performance. Spencer Harwitz pops one up. Behind third base, drifting back Bo Bichette along the line, still backpedaling, and he makes the catch with Juan Soto practically in his back pocket. And there are 2 men away.
We're having a little conversation right now as Juan goes back to left. Bo comes in. And the wind just kept going back and back and back. By the time Bo made this catch, he was at Soto's feet. Soto just stood there watching him go by.
That's just, he's the best.
He's on a heater.
He found the Blevins game that I referenced a little while ago when Jerry was used as an opener by the Mets 8 years ago. Nick Gonzalez, the batter, swings and bounces one foul up the third baseline. And the count 0-1. It was June 24th, 2018. Dodgers wound up beating the Mets in 11 innings, 8-7. Well, Jerry gave up back-to-back home runs. Sorry, Jerry. To Kike Hernandez and Max Muncy to start the game. The 0-1, chopped to short, waiting on Lindor, gets a knee-high hop, throws to first in time, side retired. But then Blevins retired the next 6, so he wasn't just an opener. He worked 2 innings. And as Madge said, you're going to get Blevins, you better get him early. Good job by Brazaban in the 6th. Pirates go in order in the middle of the 6th inning. Pittsburgh 2 and the Mets 2 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And
work building our future.
Luis Robert Jr. leads off the last of the 6th. Mets 2, Pirates 2, and the first pitch by Johan Ramirez is taken outside for ball 1. It's the middle of the Mets order here. With Robert, actually it's 5, 6, 7. Robert, Beatty, and Semien. And the 1-0 is a breaking ball that spins low and away. So 2 balls and no strikes on Luis Robert Jr. Ramirez retired the only 2 batters that he faced in the 5th inning. And now the 2-0. Missed the inside corner with a sinker. 3 balls and no strikes. Jasinski went 4 1/3, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, did not walk a batter, struck out 8. So neither starting pitcher will figure in the ultimate decision today. And the 3-0 is down the middle for a called strike, 3-1. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. 3-1. Ramirez sets at the belt. Now the pitch. Down and in, ball 4. Well, Roberts is on again. Luis Robert Jr. has singled twice, scored once, and now leads off the home sixth with a base on balls. And it'll bring up Brett Beatty, who's 2 for 2. So Mets' first walk of the game, presented by Emu Health, the official pediatric dental partner of the New York Mets radio network. Emu Health, move forward. Beatty, a couple of singles, is 2 for 2. Looked fine at first base. First pitch, breaking ball in for a called strike, 0-1. Hasn't had to do anything even borderline dramatic. Did make one nice stretch up the first base line a little bit to grab a throw from, I believe, Francisco Lindor. Here's the 0-1. Foul back to the screen, 0-2. I was asking Brett before the game, all right, how many gloves do you have? Considering all the positions he's likely to play this year. He said, you mean do I own or that I'm going to use in games? I said, no, let's just talk about the ones that you're going to use. And really, it's only 3. And I say that with a little surprise for one particular reason. Here's the 0-2 to Brett. Robert runs, pitch taken inside, throw by Davis, head first slide, out at second. Triolo, the shortstop, applies the tag. Luis Robert Jr. is caught stealing. 2-6, just like that. 1 out, nobody on, and a 1-2 count on Beatty.
It was a good pitch to run on because it was a 2-strike sweeper that usually is down in the dirt, and it doesn't allow the catcher to get a good throw off. This sweeper looked like a strike, actually, and Davis caught it, made a beautiful throw to second.
1-2 to Beatty. Now the pitch. Check swing. He appeared to have gone around. Strike 3. The ball in the dirt rolls behind the plate. Davis picks it up, throws to first in time to complete the strikeout. 2 men away. Beatty did not immediately recognize that that ball had gotten away from Davis. So 2 men away. Marcus Semien coming up, but just to wrap up that little note about Brett and his baseball equipment, he only uses 1 glove when he's on the infield between third and second. A lot of second basemen like to use a smaller glove because it's easier to get the ball out when you make the transfer. But Beatty says he's so comfortable with the glove that he uses at third base that he uses that same one at second and has no problem with that. Marcus Semien takes outside, ball 1. He has 1 glove that he'll use in the outfield. Nothing surprising about that, no matter where he plays in the outfield. And at first base, it's not all that new to him, at least conceptually. 1-0 to Semien, the pitch. Breaking ball in for a called strike, 1-1, and that's because he was approached a couple of years ago. The first time, and this is in 24, that Pete Alonso was coming up on free agency. Looking at a potential future without Pete, Brett was asked to start working out at first. The 1-1 held the swing, pitch taken outside, a fastball, 2-1 to Semien. And so Brett, who started to acquaint himself with a position then, got himself a first baseman's glove, which he still uses today and is in fact using this afternoon. 2-1 to Semien. Check swing, did he go? They looked to first. He did go around it, a sinker bearing down and in. And it's 2-2, as is the score. Pittsburgh 2, the Mets 2. 2 out, nobody on, last of the 6th. Yohan Ramirez sets 2-2 to Semien. Swinging a high fly ball to left, not deep. In comes Mangum. He's under it, and he makes the one-hand catch. Side retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left. And to the end of 6. Pirates 2, Mets 2 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready.
At tcnj.edu.
Texas leading the Phillies 7-2. Top 7, we mentioned Brandon Nimmo had a home run for Texas. Right here, Mets 2, Pirates 2 as we begin the 7th. That Scoreboard brought to you by Food Bazaar. Shop local, eat global. Keith?
Thank you, Howie. First pitch from Huascar Brazoban to Henry Davis is a fastball strike on the outside corner. So Brazoban will start this 7th inning. Next pitch, Davis fouls it off, got jammed there on a heater running in, and it's 0-2. Sean Manaea is warming up, so there's your lefty. But Brazoban, who had a pretty good 6th inning there, pretty economical inning as well, we'll see a righty, then a switch hitter, and then 2 lefties at the top of the order. So that's where Manaea should probably slot in. 0-2. Just missed outside with a changeup, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. So quite interesting that you have Carlos Mendoza bringing Manaea in as a high-leverage reliever. 1-2, fouled off of Terens. The ball goes shooting out toward first base. Terens up, trying to walk that one off, the redirection. Other thing, too, for a lot of these guys is that for Manaea, he pitched on Monday in that kind of scrimmage game they had at Clover Park before coming up here, and these guys need some work. 1-2, fouled straight back, a fastball, and it stays a ball and 2 strikes. So Manaea has not gotten into a game yet, and I'm sure his head was spinning a little bit, finding out he did not make the rotation, but he's going to be big here in this 7th inning in a 2-2 game. Brazoban's pitch. Just missed outside. Terens framed it, held it, and then cocked his arm back like he was going to throw it around the horn. But Ramon De Jesus called it ball 2, and Terens didn't want to challenge. Mets have 1 challenge remaining. In fact, so did the Pirates. 2-2. Davis crushes this one deep left center field. Soto on the run toward the gap. Makes the catch onto the warning track in front of the party deck for the first out. That was a shot by Henry Davis, but stayed in the yard. Soto got to it for the first out. Pace of the game brought to you by Optimum, famously fast fiber internet. We are moving along nicely on this Sunday. The Mets will be heading out of town, going to St. Louis. And they won't see the Pirates again until going to PNC in August. Here's Jake Mangum, switch hitter, batting left. We're tied at 2 in the 7th. First pitch. Mangum takes down and in. That's 1 ball and no strikes.
Who was it? The Brewers recently? The Mets opened the season with, played them twice, I think, in 2 weeks, and that was it for the year with them.
And we've seen a lot of that lately. That was the case with the Dodgers last year. Went to L.A. and then hosted them the next homestand. 1-0 pitch from Brazoban, grounded off of his cleats, out to Lindor. The shortstop throws to first, bounces it there, and out. A late call by Paul Clemens. Jake Mangum is emphatically pointing at the dugout, saying, no, I beat that out. But the umpire says, no, you didn't. It's a 1-6-3 putout. And Mangum's even looking at the replay in center field saying, look at this. Well, here comes Carlos Mendoza after the out to take a look at Brazoban and maybe take him out of the game and maybe see how he's feeling after that comebacker.
We got O'Neill Cruz, a lefty, coming up, and Manaea has been throwing.
So here comes Brazoban out of the game. He's done after his 5 batters that he faced. So we go to the top of the order. Sean Manaea is going to come in a 2-2 game. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the New York Lottery. This could be your lucky play.
New York Presbyterian are experts in heart care. We have the most experienced cardiovascular doctors providing compassionate care for all your heart needs with the most advanced treatments, including minimally invasive care for a full range of conditions. It's why more people trust their hearts to us than any other hospital in New York. New York Presbyterian. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Proton therapy is a cutting-edge cancer treatment that precisely targets tumors without affecting healthy tissues and organs. That means fewer side effects, better outcomes, and new hope for even the most complex cancer cases. And in New York, it's only available at the New York Proton Center. Visit nyproton.com. That's nyproton.com to learn more about proton therapy and request a consultation. The New York Proton Center, precisely revolutionary cancer care.
Millionaire for Life from the New York Lottery pays up to $1 million a year for life. As long as you keep living, they keep paying. And they say people who walk faster tend to live longer. So if you're on a walk, pick up the pace. That's it. Faster. Come on. Swing those arms. Walk with purpose. Let's go. A potential millionaire for life is walking here. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
So first appearance of the year for Sean Manaea is out of the bullpen in the seventh inning in a tie game. It's the Mets 2 and the Pirates 2. Huáscar Brazoban got the final out of his allotment, getting Davis and then Mangum. And now it's O'Neal Cruz and then Brandon Lau. So lefty as this lineup flips over, and that's where Manaea shows up. So big spot for Sean, who, of course, in his Mets tenure has been a starter. That first year, 32 starts. I remember the interview Pat McCarthy did with him. He said, I came here, I signed here because I could start. He had relieved the previous season with the Giants, and here he is relieving to start 2026. So his first pitch to O'Neal Cruz is a sweeper missing inside for ball one. Now, as spring training started to wind down, Manaea's outings started to look under the microscope a bit and go, where's the velocity? There was a big velocity drop. The 1-0 just missed outside with 90 miles an hour, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean is usually 91 to 92. He's never been a 97, 98 guy, at least not these last few years. There's the pitch. Strike on the outside corner, and it is 2-1. But the velocity, he was throwing 87, 88, and he kept saying, I'm fine, I feel good. The velocity will be there once the season starts. Well, he's throwing 88, 89. The 2-1 to Cruz is ripped toward right field. Bench cutting over, plays it on a hop. It's a base hit. Bench fires in, and O'Neal Cruz, left on left, comes up with a 2-out hit. So now Brandon Lau. Now, Manaea kept shrugging off the concerns about the velocity, and so did Carlos Mendoza, but the writing was on the wall when, well, they said Sean's going to start in the bullpen. And I think the velocity was a huge part of that. And so Manaea will begin this season piggybacking, and in this spot, all of a sudden, high leverage. There's Brandon Lau. We're still tied at 2 in the 7th with 2 outs. Lau's homer today. A throw to first, and Cruz dives back in. Just barely got back in. Beatty put the tag on late.
Pitch to Cruz was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball middle in. Spot for Cruz even against the left-hander. Now, of course, you have to wonder if he'll be running.
Well, Lau at the plate's had a great day. A walk, a homer, and a hustle double. Cruz leads at first. Beatty holding him on. A long hold. Another throw over, and the ball gets by Beatty. I think Manaea tricked Beatty. It kicks off the sidewall and out to shallow right, and Cruz is at second as Simeon hustles over to it and fires in. Beatty was holding on Cruz. Manaea was holding the set. Beatty had his foot on the bag and then jumped back to almost field his position and then returned back to the bag, and then Manaea threw over, and Beatty just, well, looking at the replay, Manaea just missed him. Just totally missed Brett Beatty. Wide right. So an E1 puts the go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs. And Lau still awaiting the first pitch. Here comes. Strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Even though first base is open, you have a switch hitter and a pretty good one, Brian Reynolds, on deck.
Well, Lau has been just scary dangerous. Manaea's 0-1. Sweeper, check swing, look to third, no swing, says Quinn Wolcott. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Cruz has lightning speed at second base, and of course in a tight game they'll probably send him anyway, but these outfielders know they've got to work quickly. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Lau way in front of that sweeper, which came in at just 77 miles an hour, and when it has that deceptive slowness and left to right movement, sometimes it doesn't matter what the velocity is. It's just nasty enough. Lau calls for his time and climbs back in. Go-ahead man at second base. Tied in the 7th. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Manaea deals. And it's ripped right side. Knocked down on one hop by Simeon, who throws to first in time to end the inning. Sean Manaea comes in and gets the final out of the 7th. His first appearance of the year keeps this thing tied at 2. Mets and Pirates going to the bottom of the 7th on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Hey, America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time.
Revolutionary cancer care.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. Mets will come up bottom of the 7th, tied at 2 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have gone to their bullpen for lefty Mason Montgomery. Mets have seen Montgomery already in this series. He pitched in the opener on Thursday and ended up giving up a couple of runs. But a lefty with a ton of velocity, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks.
Yeah, you can be wild. As you get down to the bottom of the order, you look to work a pitcher, try to get that go-ahead man on. We'll see whether or not Montgomery is similarly inconsistent as he was on Thursday, to be polite.
Well, Bench, Terrence, Lindor, Soto. In that setup, you've got lefty, righty, righty-lefty. So Montgomery, who is going to be a big part of the Pirates' bullpen this year, was part of the trade that, again, is headlined by Brandon Lau, right? All the power. We've seen 3 home runs coming over from the Tampa Bay Rays. Lau, Montgomery, and then Mangum, part of the trade that has shaped a little bit of this Pirates roster. But for Montgomery, especially in that bullpen, Pirates brought in Gregory Soto, spent $7 million on him. That's a lot for the Pirates. So elsewhere, they have to find those high-leverage guys, and Montgomery via trade is that guy. Carson Bench will face him to lead off the bottom of the 7th, tied at 2. Left on left. Pitch. Swing and a miss at 98, top of the zone. And count 0-1. Check some scores, sponsored by Amazon Hub Delivery. Visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. 0-1 to Bench. Montgomery misses away with a fastball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Munetaka Murakami of the Chicago White Sox has homered again for Chicago. That's now a home run in his first 3 games. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. More heat. And Bench behind. It's 1-2. So Murakami's homered in each of the 3 games for the White Sox, who lead Milwaukee 7-2. Top of the 5th. Again, Brandon Sproat started that game for the Brewers. The 1-2. Bench cuts and misses at 99. So Montgomery, again, when he's in the zone, he's tough to hit. Blows that one by Bench. And there's one away for Luis Torrens. Top of the 7th in Cincinnati, Eugenio Suarez's 3-run home run for the Reds has put them up 3-2 on the Boston Red Sox in the top of the 7th inning. Luis today at the plate is 0 for 2. Mets and Pirates tied at 2. Pitch. Montgomery drops the curveball in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Again, you have Lindor on deck, so back-to-back righties here for the Mets against Montgomery. The 0-1. Torrens on a check swing, went around as that curveball dropped into the dirt. Nasty pitch. And on the look to first, Paul Clemens said Torrens did go, and it's 0-2. Mets baseball brought to you by Apple Bank, where saving meets amazing. Apple Bank is a proud partner of the New York Mets. Visit applebank.com to learn more. 0-2. Chopper hit weakly toward third base. So far, fair along the line. Picked up and eaten by Nick Gonzalez. It's an infield hit for Luis Torrens. Well, remember, it was Torrens yesterday on a little dribbler up the third baseline. He was catching. He yelled the ball's going to go foul, and it stayed fair. Well, today he's rewarded with an infield hit that stays fair up the third baseline, and Nick Gonzalez decided not to throw.
Yeah, he knows the spin. It was still on the grass when he picked it up. And so the Mets get a base runner and go to the top of the order.
Tied at 2. Here's Lindor. Tripled his last time. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Big cut at 100 up in the zone, and it's 0-1. Lindor's triple in the 5th to right was his first hit of the season, and then he came around as Soto drove him in to tie the game. And Francisco calls for time. Ramon de Jesus jumps out from behind the catcher to wave his arm and get the attention of Mason Montgomery. Francisco just 1 for 10, but 1 for his last 1. Batting right-handed here against the flamethrower Montgomery. Pitch. Line to right field. That is down for a base hit in front of O'Hearn, who fires in quickly. Torrens gets to second and stops there. So again, Lindor now 2 for his last 2 after a slow start. Has set the Mets up and moved the go-ahead run now into scoring position for Soto, Bichette, and Polanco coming up.
So funny how meaningless spring training is, right? You knew that Lindor, at least according to how he felt, was going to be ready opening day. Yeah, it was fair to question whether it would take him a while because of the hamate surgery. Look at Vientos. He couldn't buy a hit all spring. Gets a big hit yesterday.
Now Soto against Montgomery. A couple of fans on their feet. Pitch. Fouled off. Big rip at 99 right down the middle. And it's 0-1. There's Soto, another guy who was vaulted into the season with the WBC in the Dominican Republic. He had a great showing. A couple of home runs. So his swing should be maybe a little bit more advanced at this point of the year, even though it's a little chilly in March. 0-1. Lifted foul down the third base side. And it's 0-2. Well, Montgomery has thrown 2 99-mile-an-hour fastballs here to Soto. Again, he can drop the bottom out on that curve. Tied at 2, bottom of the 7th. 2 on, 1 out. Montgomery ready. The 0-2. Swing and a drive down the right field line. That ball is foul. He got out in front of that. Got out in front of 99.3. But a little too quick on the trigger for Soto, who hit it off the facing of the second deck, but way wide right of that orange foul pole. And now Soto calls for his time. And Soto is getting closer and closer here. He widens out in that stance with 2 strikes. Torrens off second, Lindor off first. Montgomery a deep breath. 0-2. In the dirt, knocked down by Davis. A good job sliding to his left up the third baseline to keep it in front and keep the runners at first and second. 43 home runs for Juan Soto in his first year as a Met last year. And much more comfortable getting into spring training, getting into Queens here for year 2. Going to get off to a faster start in 26. 1-2 coming. Montgomery fires away. Missed outside, another slider. And from 0-2 to 2-2 for Soto with Bichette on deck. Double play ball is in order here. Triolo, the shortstop, is playing right behind the runner Torrens near second base. 2-2. In the dirt again. Ball squirts away from Davis to his right, and the runners advance to second and third. Terens up to third. Lindor at second. And Lindor is pointing emphatically at Terens, saying, great read. A wild pitch and a good read by Terens. Sometimes at second base, you don't have the greatest view and you don't want to make it out at third base, so you don't play it as aggressive. But Terens went, and now the infield is in. 3-2. Pitch to Soto. Foul back. Soto, another big cut. That was another slider. Looking up at that big board in right field. Fastball, fastball, fastball to start. And then since then, Montgomery has tried to spin Soto to sleep here. Second and third. One out. Payoff. Check swing. He went around as he topples to the floor on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So Soto strikes out. An awkward-looking strikeout. Pitch was way up high. He went after it, tried to stop his swing, and his momentum to stop was so strong that he basically fell down. So he strikes out, 2 away, and it's up to Bichette to try to untie this game. Lindor at second, Terens at third. Infield back now. Pitch. Swing and a miss at a curve, and it's 0-1.
Well, he's been doing a lot of that, Bo, meaning swinging and missing.
Bichette so far 1 for 12 to start. 2 strikeouts today, 2 yesterday, and 3 on Thursday. The shot right here. The 0-1. Grounded foul, and it's 0-2. And Bo again, just born a hitter in Dante Bichette's house. Bo's brother, Dante Bichette Jr., got Dad's name, but Dad decided, I'm going to name you after Bo Jackson. So that is where Bo comes from. Not short for anything. It's named after Bo Jackson. He will hit this year. Just a matter of getting off on the right foot here. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He blew it by him at 100, and Montgomery barks off the mound, having struck out both Soto and Bichette on 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. And the Mets leave second and third and leave the 7th still in a 2-2 tie with Pittsburgh. Going to the 8th on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Hey, America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at Spectrum.com.
932-7000.
Well, we remain tied 2-2 going to the 8th. Sean Manaea on the mound, Howie.
All right, thank you, Keith. Facing Brian Reynolds, switch hitter batting right, and the first pitch is in for a called strike. 0-1 to Reynolds, who's 0 for 3 today. A couple of punch-outs and a ground ball out to second. And the 0-1. Lined over third, hooking foul. Skimming the sidewall and landing in the seats and tumbling right back out of said seats, forcing Juan Soto to jog over and pick it up on the warning track. So, as we are now approaching 4 p.m., it's about 3:50 on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. The shadows begin their encroachment. Right now, it's just one little sliver in the left field corner And the area where Bo Bichette is standing at third, that's in the shade. The 0-2 pitch, that's in there. Strike 3 called. He got him with a fastball. And Reynolds down on strikes. First strikeout for Sean Manaea. One away, Ryan O'Hearn coming up. But over the next 20 minutes or so, depending on how much longer this game might go, because it's 2-2 in the 8th inning, those shadows will land in the batter's box area. Pitch to O'Hearn, taken outside, a sweeper, 1 ball and no strikes. And with nary a cloud to be seen, it means pitchers will have an advantage. The 1-0, waved at and missed. There's that good breaking ball from Manaea, dropping that arm angle down as he did a couple of years ago, and it was a very difficult pitch for O'Hearn to pick up. So the count 1-1. Now the pitch. And missed the inside corner. 3 straight sweepers to start left on left here. Manaea to O'Hearn. And it's 2-1. Now Sean kicks and deals. Breaking ball, popped up foul behind home plate. That'll reach the seats. Coming back this way, but landing above our heads. And it's 2-2. Injury report brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to WeInjuryLawyer.com. Looks like Francisco Lindor's hamate is healed nicely. Couple of hits today. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? No, on appeal to third. There was another breaking ball, and O'Hearn just barely held the swing, and that runs the count full. Paid crowd today, 36,940. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with another sweeper. So, 2 up, 2 down, both via strikeout. First 2 recorded by Manaea, who has now faced 6 batters. And with 2 men away, Jared Triolo, the shortstop, coming up. Robert takes a couple of steps the other way now in center. First pitch to the right-hand batter. Upstairs with a fastball, ball 1. And that fastball just 88 miles an hour. Righty Isaac Matson throwing in the Pittsburgh bullpen. 1-0 pitch. Fastball missed away at 89. So he's grazed 90 a couple of times. But again, living in that same neighborhood where he did during the spring. High 80s, just barely around 90. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in for a called strike, a sweeper. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jared Triolo. 2-1 pitch. Fastball away, 3-1. Triolo was a Gold Glove finalist in the utility role last year, playing shortstop for now until Connor Griffin, maybe the best prospect in all of baseball, is ready. Not far away. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4, missed with a fastball. So Manaea allows a 2-out walk. And let's see, I doubt Spencer Horwitz will hit here. He rarely does against lefties. And the Pirates are going to their bench. They do have Marcell Ozuna available from a power perspective, but he's largely and really exclusively a DH now.
This is Nick York.
Instead, the former Boston Red Sox, Nick York, will be the batter to hit for Horwitz. And that's going to bring Justin Willard, the Mets pitching coach, out for a visit. Perhaps just a primer on York with nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen.
Well, finding out a little bit more about Sean Manaea's velo drop and going back to 24, his first year here, right? He was incredible, and there was that pivotal start where he watched Chris Sale pitch against the Mets with the Braves, and Manaea's kind of a 3/4 arm slot. Well, Chris Sale throws basically sidearm, and Manaea goes, let me try to do that. And so he lowered his arm slot even more, and he finished the year, obviously, with such a great run, great postseason. And then I think he said, I got a little overzealous. I was maybe doing it too much, and there's a fear that maybe he's just trying to find where that old release point was, and that searching for that, getting the strength back for that, maybe one of the reasons why he had some physical issues last year and why he's trying to find some velocity this year.
Well, he's ready to go now against Nick York, right-hand batter. And the first pitch. Missed, down and in with a fastball. And it's 1-0. So Triolo the runner at first, 2 out. Pirates 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. The Mets 2 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. We're in the 8th. Anaya at the belt, the 1-0. That fastball is low. Both in location and again velocity, 88.3. And at Manaya's best, that was about 4 or 5 ticks higher a couple of years ago. 2-0. Bounce foul over to the backstop. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Anaya, the third pitcher the Mets have used. Nolan McLean started. Went the first 5, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. Brazaban retired all 5 that he faced. 2-1 pitch. Way outside, ball 3, missing with a changeup. So, a changeup's about 6 miles an hour away from where his fastball has been. Not enough separation generally. 3-1 pitch. High, ball 4. So he missed with a sweeper. Back-to-back walks after 2 straight strikeouts. And the Pirates send Triolo down to second as the go-ahead man. York on at first, and it'll bring up right-hand hitting Nick Gonzalez.
Now, this is Manaya's show. There's nobody up in that bullpen out there, especially after he started the inning with back-to-back strikeouts. But since then, back-to-back walks.
Manaya now at 27 pitches over the 7 batters that he's faced. So the Mets bullpen stays seated for the time being. Outfield a step towards right. Go ahead, run at second. First pitch, swung on and missed. And part of his paraphernalia just came off. Looked like the elbow guard on Gonzalez's lead arm. The right arm went flying as he swung and missed at an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. So 0-1 the count. Triolo at second, York at first. Manaya ready. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle, right at Semien, the second baseman. Flips to Lindor, covering for the force play. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. Middle of the 8th, Pirates 2, Mets 2. On Odyssey, Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs, or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction among SUNY schools. See for yourself. Visit SUNYEmpire.edu. That's SUNYEmpire.edu before the next term starts.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with
Riverhead Building Supply.
Some changes for the Pirates as we go to the last of the 8th inning in this 2-2 game. Nick York stays in the game in right field, and Ryan O'Hearn, who had been out there, moves to first base. And Isaac Mattson, the right-hander, the new pitcher, facing Jorge Polanco to lead off for New York. And Mattson's first pitch is taken for a called strike. Fastball to the knees, and it's 0-1. Mattson got in on opening day and was cuffed around. 3 hits, 2 runs allowed. 0-1 to Polanco. Now the pitch. That's in the dirt. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mattson, former Baltimore Oriole, originally drafted by the Los Angeles Randazzos, meaning the Angels, for whom your predecessor in that seat, Keith, Wayne Randazzo, worked. 1-1. Check swing foul back to the screen. 1-2. Wayne, of course, now in Anaheim. I understand engaged to be married.
Yes, I just know he was so happy about Team Italy and what they did in the World Baseball Classic. I don't know if they got an espresso machine maybe in their booth now in Anaheim. Who knows?
But knowing him, at least. 1-2 to Polanco. Now the pitch. Upstairs, 2-2. I've never seen Wayne happier, and probably never will, than he was when we were in L.A., and Tommy Lasorda referred to Wayne to his face as a, and I quote, great Italian. Wayne's still giddy over that. 2-2 to Polanco. Lifted in the air to left, cutting back, and now in a step Mangum, and he makes the catch for the first out as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. And that'll bring up Luis Robert Jr. Mason Montgomery, who pitched the seventh, only inning that he pitched, got out of trouble. Mets left 2 on, gave up 2 hits, threw a wild pitch. And now Robert. First pitch, up and in, bending him backwards. That one was between his chin and his shoulder. And the count 1-0 to Robert, who has 2 hits today, plus a walk. Game-winning homer yesterday. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. The ball had a lot of plate, and Roberts fouled it straight back.
I enjoyed hearing from David Peterson about Luis Robert in the postgame yesterday. David said, well, I faced him in live BPs on the backfield. I was sick of facing him. I'm just glad somebody else was giving up the home runs.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball clips the outside corner. A good curve there in the count 1-2. Well, to this point, Roberts our ThriveWell Infusion Thriving Player of the Game. ThriveWell, New York Premier Infusion and Injection Center. Schedule your appointment at ThriveWellInfusion.com. 1-2 to Robert. The pitch. In there, strike 3 called. A perfectly spotted fastball over the outside corner around the knees. Good pitch by Matson. So 2 men away, and it will bring up Brett Beatty. Matson, another big kid, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 214 pounds. Montgomery, a big one, who pitched before him. Pirates do have some arms. First pitch to Beatty. Taken for a called strike, a changeup, 0-1. Pittsburgh didn't score runs at all last year, lowest scoring team in the majors, but they had the 3rd best staff ERA in the National League. We're counting on Majinski to be a big part of that rotation. The 0-1 in for a called strike, a fastball 0-2, along with Mitch Keller, who pitched yesterday, and of course Paul Skeens, who pitched in the opener. Time taken by Beatty. Pirates going to Cincinnati after today. And again, the Mets will head to St. Louis. 0-2. Long set. Now the pitch to Brett. Outside and high. A fastball at 96. 1-2. If he can keep it going, Marcus Semien would be next. That's in the 4th pitcher that the Pirates have used today. Works from the first base side of the rubber. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A lively 94-mile-an-hour fastball down in the zone. And that retires the side. 2 strikeouts for Matson, nothing across. We go to the 9th. Pittsburgh 2, the Mets 2 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs, or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable...
Where the answer is yes.
Let's pause for station identification.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Well, we go to the ninth inning. Howie Rose, Keith Radd with you at Citi Field. Mets trying to get to 3-0 for the first time in a few years. Last time they did that was Buck Showalter's first season in 2022. But it's the Mets 2 and the Pirates 2, and Luke Weaver will become the new pitcher for the Mets. They're fourth this afternoon as the former Yankee comes on in relief of Sean Manaea, who went an inning and a third, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And he'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the Pittsburgh order, beginning with Henry Davis, right-hand hitting catcher. First pitch is a check swing and no swing on appeal to first. Fastball missed, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Weaver, a lot of change-ups, a lot of fastballs. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch. Low outside, another fastball, and Weaver quickly behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Weaver pitched a scoreless inning yesterday. He did not get in on opening day, so making his second Mets appearance. 2-0 pitch. Right down the middle, a called strike. A fastball, and it's 2-1. Weaver and the closer, Devin Williams, at the back end of the Mets bullpen now. Former Yankees. I want to hear one of the non-stories of the year. Here's 2-1 pitch. Way outside, ball 3. In case you forgot or missed it, when Luke Weaver showed up in Port St. Lucie, he reported to Mets camp with his Yankee duffel bag. Big deal. Well, guess what? 3-1 pitch is low, ball 4. So Weaver missing with a fastball, and the Pirates get the leadoff man on in this 2-2 game here in the ninth inning. But the way that was treated on social media and talk radio, you'd think that he committed one of the crimes of the century. Yeah. It's a bag. And of course he was going to get a new one from Mets equipment manager Kevin Kierst.
Well, we take pictures of these guys basically everywhere except in the shower. You know, they can't get away with anything in public.
Well, here's Jake Mangum, squares to bunt. He does down the third base side. Bichette up with it, throws to first in time, and that gets Davis down to second. Sacrifice 5-3. Beatty, the first baseman, took the throw. And just like that, the Pirates, with 1 out now, have the go-ahead man in scoring position and go back to the top of the order for O'Neill Cruz.
Oh, good job by Bo Bichette. Again, a shortstop turned third baseman, and it's not just the ground balls to third, but how do you handle these situations? Bunt coverage, and he came charging in, made a nice accurate throw to first base, a different angle than he's used to, but now back to his normal spot, a little bit behind the third base bag.
So, Pirates 1 for 9 today with men in scoring position, and that's been the theme this weekend for them. 4 for 34. First pitch to Cruz. Take it outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Davis, not a whole lot of speed at second. Lindor angles in behind him. The outfield is absolutely straight away against O'Neill Cruz. 1-0 the count. Weaver checks second. Now the pitch. Fastball right down the middle at 96 for a called strike. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Weaver got into 64 games with the Yankees last year. That was his career high. Struggled late, to be sure. 1-1. Now the pitch. And that's taken low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Very often a manager will go to his closer in a tie game at home when you go to the 9th inning. Devin Williams pitched yesterday. So did Weaver, but it's Weaver the choice today. Brandon Lown, the left-hand batter on deck. And both Williams and Weaver will throw a lot of changeups. And you think about, well, what's a good weapon for a right-handed pitcher against left-handed batters like Cruz and Lau? It's the changeup. Now time call.
Looks like Weaver's messing with something in his hat, if it's his pitch comm or not. He stepped off, took the hat off, tried to fix the pitch comm, put it on because the clock was winding down, then stepped off again and grabbed his hat.
2-1 the count to Cruz. Davis leads from second. The pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball up. And as we know, O'Neill Cruz will do that. The strike zone is as wide as the state of Texas when O'Neill Cruz is in the batter's box. Weaver knows that. 2-2 the count. Davis not too big a lead from second. The pitch. In there, strike 3 called. He froze him with a fastball. So Cruz down on strikes for the second time today. 2 men out. It's the runner Davis at second. 2-1 pitch. Way inside with a fastball. 3-1. The pitchers have walked 5 Pirate hitters today. Robert, the center fielder, swung over a bit to the pull side. 3-1 to Lau. Weaver ready. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped foul straight back out of play into the Hyundai Club seats. So now Weaver has run it full against Brandon Lau, and many in this paid crowd of 36,940 come to their feet here at Citi Field. 2 out, top of the 9th. Mets 2, Pirates 2. Henry Davis, the runner at second with 2 out. Weaver trying to strand him there. Lau takes his time out. And now taps the bat across home plate as he's ready to go. Weaver back up on the rubber. Checks in with Torrens. Takes a deep breath. Brings the hands together. Here's the payoff pitch to Lau. Swung on and popped up foul. That'll reach the seats apparently near the third base dugout. Torrens over for a look, but it's a couple of rows back and a couple of sections over to the right of the Pittsburgh dugout. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com, from official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies. Visit MLBshop.com/Mets, the official source for your Mets gear.
Well, fastball to change up to fastball to change up for Luke Weaver. Just threw him a fastball. Looking for that put-away pitch here.
3-2 the count. Weaver ready. Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Down and in, ball 4. He went with a changeup and walked him. He did have first base open. And now another good hitter, albeit one who is 0 for 4 today with 3 punch-outs. Brian Reynolds will be the batter.
You have Lau, and here comes Justin Willard to maybe discuss how to attack Brian Reynolds here, but not the worst thing in the world, just with the way Lau has been swinging the bat this week. I mean, he's been killing it. And then you have Brian Reynolds, who had a good first 2 days, but today has struck out 3 times and is 0 for 4.
The discussion will continue on the mound. The entire infield will converge. Make sure everybody's on the same page here on this top of the 9th inning. Weaver has thrown 18 pitches, which is not an unusually large workload, but 10 of them have been out of the strike zone. And things start to get sticky now with a couple of men aboard. And Reynolds, a guy who's got good power, coming to the plate. He has struck out 3 times and grounded to second. Those shadows starting to edge to the back of the right-hand hitter's batter's box. Reynolds, a switch hitter, batting left. But within a few minutes, pitcher's going to have a big advantage. And Weaver really needs to keep the Pirates off the board here in the 9th inning for that additional reason. First pitch. Swung on and fouled straight down at home plate. The count 0-1. And that reasoning is, should Pittsburgh take the lead here, by the time the Mets bat in the bottom of the inning, their lives will be made that much more difficult trying to find the ball coming out of the sun, out of the pitcher's hand. And it's Dennis Santana who's getting ready to do that pitching Certainly if the Pirates take the lead. Don't know whether or not he'll pitch if it remains tied. That's 2, Pirates 2. Davis at second. Lau at first, 2 out. Weaver to the belt, checks the runners. The 0-1 pitch. At the knees, a called strike with a fastball. And it's 0-2. Mets have lefty Richard Lovelady getting ready. Ryan O'Hearn, a left-hand batter, due up next. And again, the chilled crowd comes to its feet. Many in energetic applause here. Reynolds has taken his time out. Now settles back in the batter's box. Weaver brings the hands together. Runners lead second and first. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled, but not held by Torrens. He had it in the glove for a split second, but it squirted out. And as you've probably heard since you started watching and listening to baseball, there is just nothing a catcher can do about that. You cannot practice catching foul tips. They just come back too quickly, and you could try to squeeze it, which Torrens did. He sold a couple of fans, in particular one behind home plate who was hooting and hollering, but still going at it with a count 0-2 on Reynolds. The pitch, swinging a roller left side of third, cut off by Bichette, goes to second, close play, but the force play is called to retire the side. So Weaver gets it done. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. Middle of the 9th inning, bottom third of the order are due up for the Mets. It's the Pirates 2 and the Mets 2 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
You gotta ask yourself, want to talk about the time you lived in the greatest city on earth, or still live in it? In the city where a matinee leads to 2 a.m. tacos, your New York era can last a lifetime. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy can help you become a forever New Yorker. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
College should fit your life, not the other way around. At Empire State University, study online on your time. There's a reason why they're called SUNY's leading online university. See for yourself at sunyempire.edu.
Spectrum TV makes sports easy, so I never miss. Never miss a homer. Never miss a home field hat trick. Never miss a goal line stand, inches from the end zone. Never miss an end-to-end, tic-tac-toe, top-shelf snipe. Never miss a downtown buzzer beater for the championship win. Get your favorite streaming apps included at no extra cost with Live TV. It's one plan, one price, one place for all your sports. For details, visit SpectrumTV.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com.
Country Road, Westbury.
We go to the last of the 9th inning at Citi Field. The Pirates 2, the Mets 2, and Pittsburgh will hand the ball to its closer, Dennis Santana, in a tie game on the road, which a lot of managers try to stay away from. But Santana now has pitched in all 3 games of this series. And go back to opening day and all the talk about how great the Mets were in grinding out at-bats. They have punched out 15 times today. Marcus Semien leads off. First pitch, swung on and missed. 0-1. Santana with a pretty good hard split there. That's ahead 0-1 on Semien, who is 0 for 2 with a sac fly. 0-1, now the pitch. Swing on a fly ball to shallow center. In comes O'Neill Cruz, the center fielder, and he makes the 2-hand catch, 1 man away. And that will bring up Carson Benj. So Majinski, who started, struck out 8. Ramirez 2, Montgomery 3, Matson 2. 15 Mets have been struck out this afternoon by Pittsburgh pitching. And now Benj, who is 0 for 3. Left-hand batter, Santana's first pitch is taken high, ball 1, a fastball. Richard Lovelady getting ready for a 10th inning that the Mets would love to avoid. Jared Young has come out on deck to potentially hit for Torrens. The 1-0. Swing and a miss at a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that shade now is just beginning to complete engulfing the batter's boxes while the pitcher's coming out of the sunlight. Advantage pitcher. Here's the 1-1. Taken for a called strike, a fastball at 92. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Carson Benj. Only hit so far, the home run that he had on opening day. Santana to the belt. Here's the 1-2. Missed inside with a breaking ball, a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez at third is way off the line. 2-2 to Benj. Now the pitch. Swing on a liner to left. Mangum froze now back a step, makes the catch. 2 men away. And Jared Young will come up to bat for Torrens and presumably try and yank one over the wall here and get the Mets on the way to St. Louis.
Yeah, Jared Young, I think the back half of last year was a little bit better for Young. He ended up hitting 4 home runs in 23 games. Did hit 186, but did have some pop, and that's exactly right, Howie. Just trying to jump Dennis Santana. There was some talk, and here comes the pitching coach for Pittsburgh as well. That's Billy Murphy. But there was some talk, okay, is Vidal Brujan going to make the team? Obviously, Mike Tauchman got hurt, and that probably crushed his chances. It looked like he was going to make the team, but Jared Young is here for moments like this as that lefty off the bench to run into one for you, maybe play a little outfield or maybe a little first base too, a little versatile.
So Young will bat for Torrens, who went 1 for 3. We mentioned Richard Lovelady getting ready in the Mets bullpen for a potential 10th inning. And if that happens, of course, we go back to the relatively new rule of the free runner. It certainly did what it was supposed to have done yesterday, which is promote scoring. All 4 half innings featured at least a run. Here's Young, first pitch. Rides high, ball 1. All the rules changes in the game over about the last 5 years, just from looking at comments on social media, that seems to be the most reviled. 1-0. Now the pitch. Fastball over the inside corner, knee high, a called strike, and it's 1-1.
There have been a lot of changes in the last 5 years. We're talking about adding things, now visits, ABS, all these things to the video board. Every year, do something new.
Lindsey, Bob, and Ralph wouldn't know what they were watching. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a pop foul straight back out of play. It's 1-2. But, one thing about that free runner, the ghost runner, whatever you want to call it, it's the most radical change. And certainly the pitch clock has been too, but that's been almost universally applauded. Not so much the free runner. 1-2 pitch. Just missed the inside corner with a fastball. And it's 2-2. Young can find his way aboard. Francisco Lindor's got a couple of hits. Be up next. 2-2. Santana ready. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul back upstairs behind home plate. So Young hanging in.
Now, that was the pitch to hit. Fastball at 94 right down the middle. And, these guys have just come off of a month and a half of swinging. But usually by June, sometimes these guys turn that pitch around.
2-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed strike 3. Got him with a slider, and for the second straight day, we will go to extra innings. Nothing across for the Mets in the 9th, so it's on to the 10th. Pittsburgh 2, the Mets 2 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Let's go Mets! Diving for that grounder got you grounded? Oof, we've got specialists for that. Layup, take you down? We've got specialists for that. With nearly 50 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Baseball season is the perfect time to get a high-efficiency Peerless boiler. Start saving now and upgrade today. You can find the Peerless boiler that's right for your home or business and a list of local installers at peerlessboilers.com. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers.
Baseball season is a marathon. 162 games, countless innings, and plenty of big moments. Calling all that action takes a voice that's ready every night. That's why I'm always reaching for my mug of Bigelow tea. Their green tea is smooth, great tasting, and keeps my voice in game shape. When the schedule gets tough, a cup of English tea time helps me get right back in the booth. So do what I do. Take a moment just for you with Bigelow tea, the official tea of the Mets Radio Network.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
For the second consecutive game, the Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates will go to extra innings. Game is tied 2-2. And for the second consecutive day, Richard Lovelady, who wound up the winning pitcher yesterday, will head to the mound for the Mets with a free runner, Brian Reynolds, starting at second base as we go to this 10th inning. Keith?
Yeah, yesterday, both Pittsburgh and New York scored in the 10th. Pittsburgh scored on the 11th. The Mets, of course, won on the walk-off home run by Luis Robert Jr. But here, with Reynolds off second, Lovelady facing O'Hearn left on left. Tied at 2 into the 10th. Lovelady set. A look at second. Another look. And now the pitch. Right down the middle with his sinker, and it's 0-1. Now, we haven't seen Devin Williams today. It's been Brazoban, Manaea, Weaver, and now Lovelady. And Williams only pitched one time in this series. But remember, he got up on Thursday and got hot. And Carlos Mendoza sometimes counts that as getting in. Lovelady's 0-1. O'Hearn rips one up the middle past the diving Simeon going into center field. They're waving around Reynolds. Roberts sort of the plate on the way, cut off by Beatty. Reynolds scores standing, and it's the Pirates in extras once again taking the 3-2 lead on Ryan O'Hearn's RBI single here in the top of the 10th. Again, as he said yesterday, we played 4 extra innings with, of course, the Mets hitting twice and the Pirates hitting twice, and there were runs in every single one of them. So once again, the Pirates get off to the lead start, and now Triolo digs in with a runner at first and nobody out. Lovelady, the lefty, against Triolo, the righty. Pitch. Triolo shows bunt, pulls back, takes a strike on the sinker, and it's 0-1. When the Mets get up, they'll have Francisco Alvarez is in to catch as the free runner, and then the top of the order, Lindor, Soto, and Bichette coming up. 0-1. Just missed outside with a fastball, and it's 1-1 strike on Triolo. Yesterday, the Mets felt like they stole one, kind of a March Madness Survivor-esque type win. Tis the season. Pirates out-hit the Mets all day yesterday. They ended up leaving 17 men on base. Well, today the Mets have out-hit the Pirates. 1-1. Misses low, and it's 2 balls and a strike, but it is the Pirates who are in front today. Kind of crazy to even go back and tally them all up. 17 men were left on yesterday by Pittsburgh. The 2-1. Swinging a foul tip into the mid at 93, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pittsburgh is warming up Jose Urquidy, the former Houston Astro, who signed a deal with them in spring training. Righty, we haven't seen him yet in this series. Bichette is right near the bag at third. The 2-2. Just missed outside. Ramon de Jesus flinched. Alvarez didn't call for a challenge. You get a challenge in extra innings. If you use it and lose it, well, you get one if we go to the next inning. So not that there's no harm in using one, but probably not too many chances. So it's 3-2 now. Payoff. Bouncing ball hit to short, could be 2. Lindor's got it, flipped to Semien, 1 on to first. Double play. Big double play turn, 6-4-3. And there are 2 gone now in the 10th. Now Lindor and Semien were pinched towards second base. They're back and a little closer toward the middle of the infield than normal. That ground ball took Lindor a step to his right, but it got out there in a jiff and allowed the Mets to turn that double play, even though Triolo runs pretty well. So again, Pittsburgh's still in front, 3-2, but here's Nick York batting right-handed with the bases clear. Lovelady's first. Just missed outside with ball 1. Mets played 13 extra innings games last year, and they're already on number 2 in Game 3 of the season. Infield is back, playing pretty straight up here against Nick York. 1-0. Fastball misses away. That's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, Lovelady wearing number 55. The sun shining on that in the back of his pinstripe uniform. York in that black jersey top in the shadow. 2-0. Missed low. 3 balls and no strikes with Nick Gonzalez on deck. York, Gonzalez, Davis, and Mangum, the bottom of the lineup here for Pittsburgh. A very top-heavy offense today for the Pirates. 3-0, way outside. So Lovelady lost him on 4 pitches. And again, in this spot where you know if you give up a run, you'll be granted that tying man in scoring position already. So you almost not anticipate, but you're mentally ready to give up one knowing that you try to get one back. So York is at first base, but he'll be pinch ran for. That is Billy Cook running out to pinch run for York. And then Cook will go out and play right field. So they like Cook's speed a little bit more. Gonzalez digs in for the right side. We're in the top of the 10th. 2 outs, 3-2 Pittsburgh. Lovelady set, lefty against righty. First offering. He missed up and in for ball 1. So now 5 in a row out of the zone for Lovelady. Mets did use a lot of arms yesterday. The good part about it was that of the arms that got in, it felt like not many were used a lot. The 1-0, way upstairs. That was not close. And it's 2-0. Now Alvarez is going to take the walk out to the mound. Let's pause for station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Alongside Howie Rose, my name is Keith Radd. Citi Field, Flushing, Queens. We're in extra innings. 3-2 Pittsburgh. After Richard Lovelady just walked Nick York, he has now fallen behind 2-0 on Nick Gonzalez, and Justin Willard has run out there, the Mets pitching coach in his first season. And again, guys like Huáscar Braziman pitched yesterday through 4 pitches. Brooks Raley pitched yesterday through 11 pitches. Lovelady, though, threw 21. So he threw a lot of pitches in relief. He got his double play ball here after giving up the run, but has started to lose the strike zone. Now the infield back on the left side. 2-0. Swinging. Gonzalez cuts and misses at the sinker. And it's 2-1. So a little deep breath. A little visit from Justin Willard. And it's 2-1 as Lovelady finds the zone. Leans in. Dangles that left arm. Now straightens and throws to first. But Cook back in with a head-first dive. Now, the win yesterday, again, the Mets were down, chasing a run into the bottom of the 11th. And when Luis Robert hit it, you felt like, wow, we haven't seen one of those in a long time. Certainly a walk-off win, but a come-from-behind win. 2-1 is way outside. 3 balls and a strike. I remember the Mets last year, when trailing after the 8th inning, were they 0-70? They didn't win a single game when trailing after 8. And as David Stearns kind of said publicly a couple times, the probability of that is very, very low. That doesn't really happen very often. It's almost insanely stunning. Mets were the only team. 3-1. Fouled back, and it's 3-2. Well, that was then, and this is now. This is a much different group. I mean, you look at every position on the field, you go, well, he's new. And so the group from last year that didn't get it done late, well, already that's forgotten about. Well, they'll have to come from behind again today, down 3-2 in the 10th. Lovelady about to come set. Runner at first, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is low. Now he's walked Gonzalez. Back-to-back walks. There's nobody up in that Mets bullpen. Lovelady is on the doorstep of getting that final strike and final out. But still nobody up. And Henry Davis strolling to the plate. Davis today has walked in 4 trips. Again, the Mets have out-hit the Pirates 8-6. A big runner at second in Billy Cook. Gonzalez can run it first. First pitch to Davis. That's high as well. That's ball 1. So Lovelady is missing a ton. 19 pitches, just 7 strikes. Semien up the middle, keeping the runner close at second. The 1-0. Davis swings through the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Juan Soto very deep in left field. He's been playing very deep all series. Lovelady set the 1-1. Hit over second into center field. That's a base hit. Robert gets to it quickly. The throw coming to the plate to try to get York is not in time. He scores standing up. RBI single by Davis. Gonzalez goes first to third, and it's 4-2 Pittsburgh in the top of the 10th. So falling behind, walking batters, setting up the Pirates has come back to hurt Richard Lovelady as Davis shoots one over Marcus Semion's head at second base. And the inning is not done yet. They're at the corners now for Jake Mangum. Oh, Robert got to that ball quickly in right center field. The ball was stung, 106 off the bat. So thought maybe there's a chance to play at the plate, but the throw was nowhere close. So Davis at first, Gonzalez at third. Mangum, who's a tough customer, switch hitter batting right, climbs in. Middle infielders are back. Beatty holding on the runner at first. Bichette in at third. Lovelady's pitch. Breaking ball strike. That's 0-1. Jake today, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. Yesterday had a double late in the game and then scored the go-ahead run in the 11th. 4-2 Pittsburgh. The 0-1. Shows bunt, pushes it, but pushes it foul up the first base line, and it's 0-2. That's kind of what you mean about Mangum being a tough customer. Yeah, he can sit back and try to drive a ball to the gap, but he can slam a ball down into the ground. Baltimore chop his way on, keep things moving. A push bunt attempt with 2 outs and the corners in. Trying to do whatever he can to scratch and claw his way on. And now Bichette backs up with 2 strikes. Lovelady ready. 0-2. Missed low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan O'Hearn started the inning off. Second pitch, RBI single to right. And then after a double play ball, which clean slate for Lovelady, back-to-back walks, and then a single that made it 4-2. The 1-2, fouled back. Mangum staying alive on 92 miles an hour at the top of the zone. The Lovelady, a pitch count has climbed to 25. His gas tank has to be close, if not at empty right now, after 21 pitches yesterday and high leverage extra innings back-to-back days. Runners lead first and third. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Mangum goes down on the high fastball, and the inning is over. But not 1, but 2 Pirate runs come across in the top of the 10th. Mets chasing 2 to stay alive. We go to the bottom of the 10th. 4-2 Pittsburgh on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Hey, America, want to save $1,000? That was a rhetorical question. Switch to Spectrum and save $1,000 guaranteed. Seriously, you can hold us to it. We call it the Spectrum Savings Guarantee. Just get fiber-powered gig internet for just $50 a month. And when you switch 2 mobile lines, we guarantee $1,000 of real savings in your first year, or we'll cover the difference. Again, that's a guarantee. You don't get many of those in life. Learn more at spectrum.com/get50. Spectrum Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial lines. Restrictions apply.
Your home is more than a place. It's where life happens. When it's time to upgrade, choose Marvin Windows from Riverhead Building Supply. Marvin combines timeless design with lasting performance, so every room feels brighter, more comfortable, and more inviting. At Riverhead, we make the process simple. From helping you select expert installation, we're ready for what's next. Just like you. Visit rbscorp.com or your local Riverhead Building Supply.
Hi, this is Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. On the ice, I do everything I can not to get checked. But off the ice, I'm all about getting checked.
It's hockey season, and that means it's time to get checked by the pros at RWJ Barnabas Health. As New Jersey's largest and most comprehensive healthcare system, we're all about keeping everyone in a great state of health. And that means getting regular checkups. Or, as Jack says,
don't let your health go unchecked. Get checked at RWJ Barnabas Health.
Visit rwjbh.org/getchecked.
Well, Jose Urquidy, the former Astro, has come on to face the Mets in the bottom of the 10th inning. Mets are chasing 2. 4-2 Pirates. Mets are looking for the sweep, and they'll have to do it with a little magic. Francisco Alvarez is the place runner at second base. Francisco Lindor is at the plate. So they got the guys to do it. Lindor, Soto, and Bichette. Remember, yesterday had some big at-bats late and didn't come through. Chance to do that here. Lindor batting left against Urquidy. First toss. Breaking ball misses away. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Urquidy spent 5 years with Houston, won a World Series with him in 2022, then some arm problems. Didn't pitch in 24, surfaced with the Tigers last year. First year with the Pirates. The 1-0. Missed away. Changeup. That's 2 balls and no strikes. 30-year-old out of Mexico, Jose Urquidy. Former starter, trying to kind of rebuild his career after injury. Alvarez at second. Here's the 2-0. Popped across, 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-1. Lindor today 2 hits to get off the schneid. He walked into the game 0 for 7. Put a triple and a single today. Outfielders are playing pretty straight up here, including Billy Cook, the new right fielder. Time called by Lindor. Cook pinch ran for York. And that turned out to be a pretty big decision because Cook was that second runner that came around to score on the Henry Davis single to make it 4-2. And again, Lovelady in there for a long time. No Devin Williams, who we've only seen once in this series. And because that game on Thursday, the Mets won 11-7, got a little sticky at the end. And so Williams was warming up, getting hot. He was, I think, a batter away from coming in. So deemed unavailable today. 2-1 on Lindor. Pitch. Strike on the inside corner. That was such a nasty changeup that Lindor turned in toward the umpire thinking that was going to hit him in the shoulder. And it floated over the inside corner for strike 2. Infield around to the right, except for Gonzalez, the third baseman, near the line. The 2-2. Fouled off third base side. A little nubber off the bat of Lindor. Takes a peek at the top of the bat to see if he broke it. Just got a piece. Soto does have a hit. He's on deck. And then behind him, Bo Bichette, who is just 1 for 13 to start his Mets career. Alvarez a very small lead at second. Urquidy's 2-2. Breaking ball is low, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now, all of a sudden, if you get on, if Lindor can walk his way on and you now bring the winning run to the plate, well, it went from a 2-run lead and feeling okay. It feels a little scary, especially with the guys coming up, Soto and Bichette. Urquidy set on 3-2. Here he comes. And it's high ball 4. He did walk him. So now Citi Field, which was going ruh-roh when that second run came in the top of the 10th, is on its feet for Juan Soto, and the Mets try to win the game with 1 swing. Soto looking for his first home run this season, banking with Apple Bank as a home run. Learn more at applebank.com. That is the Apple Bank Soto home run counter, which right now is open for business. 4-2 Pirates. Pitch. Swinging a line drive left center field. Reynolds going back. It is over his head up against the fence. Alvarez coming in to score. They're going to send around Lindor. Cutoff throw to the plate. Bouncing in. The tag, the slide. He's out. Soto's at second base. Lindor slow to get up. It's 4-3 Pittsburgh in the 10th. The Lindor out of the plate is the first out of the inning. So a somewhat risky send by Leaper on the relay throw to the plate, but maybe going for it to try to tie the game right there. And now Soto is the tying run at second base.
Carlos Mendoza is out to talk to the umpires about something. I don't know if it has to do with giving.
New York is challenging the alcohol at home plate.
Simple as that. Not so much about giving a lane or anything. But I agree with you. I think with nobody out, that might even have been an unnecessarily aggressive set.
Cruz was the one that fielded it off the wall. Threw into Triolo. Triolo threw to Davis. And Davis put the tag on Lindor. And by the time Davis, it's a bang-bang play. He receives the ball and just puts the glove down and hits Lindor high chest in the chin area. And Lindor coming in without a helmet on, running so fast, he got popped. And came in and did slide in safely. I don't see where the Mets are seeing a safe call, but they are challenging it. I didn't see Davis drop the ball. It seemed pretty clean. Looked like the tag got on before Lindor, who was coming in feet first, across the plate. So we'll see. But in any event, if this is calls confirmed, Soto would be the tying man, and you've got Bichette and Polanco coming up.
After review, there's no violation of the home plate collision rule, and the call is confirmed. The runner is out.
So the Mets were challenging the collision rule, which is fielding the ball in the line and going after the runner, which Davis was off the line and then went in, once he had the ball, went into the runner. It seemed legal to me.
Well, I don't know if the umpires are instructed to advise the crowd on exactly what they're reviewing in the manner that they did. Yes, of course, they were challenging the out call at the plate, but my first inclination was, well, what are they challenging? I thought to the naked eye that Lindor was out, but they were, in fact, challenging whether he'd been given a proper lane. And I just wonder why they wouldn't have said it that way. Mets are challenging that aspect of it rather than simply the out call at the plate.
There's a meeting on the mound with Jose Urquidy, who has given up one run so far. That was the ghost runner Alvarez that came around to score. Yeah, Lindor basically right on his heels was the one that was tagged out on the relay that officially goes 8-6-2 to retire Lindor. So 4-3, Pittsburgh, one out in the 10th. Soto's at second, and Bo Bichette, boy, he's just been dying for a hit here. He's 1 for 13, can try to tie the game or win the game. Pitch. Urquidy misses low with ball one.
And Bichette's been hearing it from the crowd today. He has struck out 3 times today, and the last time, which ended the bottom of the 7th inning, produced a quite audible number of boos.
In his 3rd game as a Met.
Right.
The 1-0. Swinging a ground ball hit to the shortstop, Triolo. Soto crossing over will go to third. The throw to first is in time to get Bichette for the second out. And, yeah, you can hear a couple of those fluttering bluebirds over Bichette, who, by the way, knows all about New York. It's one of the things he wanted when he signed here was the pressure of the situation. But so far, this weekend ends like this. He has 1 for 14 in his first series as a Met. But now Jorge Polanco's got to come through. Mets are down by a run. The tying man is at third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. First pitch to Polanco. Swinging a high fly ball, deep right field. Cook back on the track in front of the wall. Makes the catch, extending the glove up at the wall to win the game. He didn't leave his feet. He just kind of cozied up near the wall and made the catch high over his hat. Jorge Polanco flies out, and the Pirates take the finale 4-3. Soto stuck at third to end the game. In the 10th inning for the Mets, 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. The final in 10 innings, the Pittsburgh Pirates 4 and the New York Mets 3. We'll be back to talk about it in a moment on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Let's go, Mets! Here's the thing. Want to be the grandparents who bolted to the burbs, or the cool relatives still living in NYC? The city that people come to be at the center of everything. With 20 years of NYC know-how, Street Easy has the tools, agents, and guidance to make you a forever New Yorker, too. Visit StreetEasy.com to buy or rent in NYC. Street Easy is an assumed name of Zillow, Inc., which has licenses in all 50 states.
Is college even worth it these days? At Empire State University, it actually is. It's online, flexible, and affordable. With over 120 degree programs, you'll find something that fits your goals. And students love it. We're ranked #1 in student satisfaction.